All right, let's get to it. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's been a minute. It's been a little minute. Been traveling, been doing a lot of work. So we're gonna talk about a couple things. We have a couple videos to watch today. We're gonna be talking about the interview with Shannon Sharpe and Kamala Harris. We're gonna talk about Charlamagne the God on Anderson Cooper's show with Angela Rye. And we're also gonna talk about the Stephen A. Smith, Sean Hannity interview. So if you're new here, this is politics. This is what we talk about. We make it interesting though. We make it fun and engaging and exciting. So we're going to jump right into it because I don't want to waste too much time. We're going to talk about the Stephen A. Smith versus Sean Hannity one, all right? So this is going to be a good one. Let's go ahead and crank this thing up. I'm back. Homecoming was amazing.
The reason Kamala Harris is not getting into more depth.
Here's the thing. We'll talk about Homecoming at the end. Here's the thing. You already know the way in which a lot of these streams or whatever are going to go when the people who give the interviews or the people that give the TikTok comments or whatever immediately say her name wrong. Right there, that's going to come from an uninformed space. I can tell you straight off the top of my head how many videos I've had to watch over the course of my political career on TikTok and streaming and all that stuff. How many people have given some sort of take and immediately discredited it by saying Kamala. Immediately, right? It's not a hard name. I have a difficult name, and I immediately tune out when someone fucks up my name. It's not difficult, right? So again, if you're new here, welcome, join, follow, like the chat, get more people up in here. We typically have a goal every day of 10,000 likes. That did not change. So we're gonna jump into this. We're gonna get some takes on how we feel about this. So Stephen A. Smith went on Sean Hannity. As y'all know, Sean Hannity is a right-wing pundit. Stephen A. Smith is a news sports pundit, but at the same time, educated brother nonetheless. So we're going to hop right into it.
Depth about all of her possible programs, because I think if people find out, they're not going to be happy about it.
And I hate when people say stuff like this because if it's so in-depth and you know so much more than everybody else, then what is it that you want to say? What is it that you want to get out there? What policy is it that you're like, well, if they really knew how it went down? Is the tax credit something that you're opposed against? Is the credit for the first-time home buyer something you're opposed against? Is the going against price gouging something you complain about all the time? Anybody who will listen, is that what you're complaining about? What is it that they're saying, hey, we peel back the curtain, it'll be something different? Because I can tell you exactly one in particular, right? With Donald Trump, again, I've done this for months now, right? We've looked at Donald Trump when he dropped his policies. We looked at most of the policies that he wants to enforce. Most of them have nothing to do with most American. Let's take one of them. The one about keeping men out of women's sports. What he's referring to is trans women competing in the NCAA in high school sports. Now, the way in which they describe it, you would think that, hey, this is a problem that is plaguing the nation. Right? It is something that is taken over. And everywhere you look, there's a trans woman, trans man competing. There are, as of last year, 34 trans athletes in the NCAA and in high school sports. This man wasted a policy on something that affects 34 people. I'll double it. Let's say there's 60 because there was a surge all of a sudden. There are 60. And you keep in mind though, it's not like they're winning. So when you say that, oh, it's so unfair that these women are competing in these sports, you're discrediting the women that have worked hard to win number one and have consistently won number one over the courses of their lives, right? You may have one trans person that wins a competition every 9 months, but at the same time, we treat it like it's an everyday occurrence. Think about the ones that you've actually heard of. There was the weightlifter that got washed. There was the biker person that got washed. There was the track and field person that won, but then lost immediately in the next level. There was the swimmer that won that one thing, and then she lost immediately after that, 2 more times in a row. So when we look at it like a policy that's supposed to impact Americans, I don't see the relevance. Let's take immigration. Do I feel like there's immigration reform that is needed? Absolutely. Does it mean that we deport however many million people they say there are now? No. The lies that are being told on a daily basis, not some conspiracy lies, but literal data-driven lies, are insane. And the fact that we are, a week and a half away, there shouldn't be one. I didn't miss the point, there shouldn't be one. It's anybody's right to do what they would like to do. Do you agree? This is America, right? That's what you kind of hold on based on what you just said. It's anyone's right to do the things they want to do. Just beat them. You've been beating them. They're not hard to beat. Let's be honest. That's not the. I didn't miss the point. I'm making my point. Is that it's not something that I'm spreading lies now. Pull up where they've won consistently. Go ahead, send it to me. I got time, brother or sister. I can't tell, but I appreciate you for being here nonetheless. Right is right, wrong is wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like I don't know what I'm talking about. You're new here, and that's okay. I'm a political fact checker. I check misinformation. I pull up data points. I do that all the time on my stream. You most likely do not. And, you know, it is what it is. Okay, there should be one woman die. And Kia, you're right. The abortion laws, right? We've talked about the young lady from Georgia that passed away from taking an abortion pill. It didn't work. They could have saved her life, and she ended up passing away because of that, right? So these are the policies that impact Americans' lives. Trans women in sports doesn't kill anybody. It doesn't do anything. What, you hurt your pride because you lost? You were going to lose anyway. You got 7th place. Now you got 8th because she was in there. It's okay. You were never going to win. You weren't that good. The good ones win, right? And so when we look at policies that affect us each day, that's the cost of goods. That's the cost of lodging. That's the cost of our everyday livelihoods. Our wage theft is happening, right? Oh my God. This is what it is to talk to a MAGA person. You're still talking about trans women. You see what I mean? I talked about things that hurt your wallet and affect you on a daily basis. This person's talking about a person competing in track. In track and field. But again, this is what we do. We talk about these things on a daily basis to figure it out, man. So let's get into it. Sean Hannity, Stephen A. Smith.
I hope that Kamala will win in the end. Mm-hmm.
What would be the policies that affect you most that drive you to vote for Kamala Harris?
Now, I'll be honest. I haven't paid enough attention to know her specific policies.
When people say things like that, one, it pisses me off, no matter whose side you're on. It pisses me off because there is a multitude of information that is out there, including the actual policies. It's not that long of a read. If you really want to drill it down, you could put the link for the policies into any AI chatbot. ChatGPT, Notebook LM, hell, Google Gemini, right? And it will give you the condensed version of what these policies are. There are several creators that have covered those policies. So to say not too familiar, that means you just don't care. And it's okay. It's okay. But at the same time, ignorance is not an excuse to not know things. Educate yourself. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Some people literally have no interest. You're right. But people do complain, right? And that's the thing. When you complain about your livelihood, hey, man, I'm not making enough money, that's wage theft. You're a wage slave. That's what's happening. Your company is stealing your money and not giving it to you. You're getting laid off by the thousands. Can I continue the video? Hey, Terrell19, if you want to type in Stephen A. Smith, Sean Hannity, you can do that. For streamers, and you might not be listening to stream and everything, we don't just play the video because that's how you get a copyright strike. And then you get your channel taken down. So you're going to sit here and listen to me talk, or you're going to swipe up. But at the same time, I want you to understand, if you complain about certain issues, you have to take the steps necessary to educate yourself on who will impact that the most. That's all it is. It's not hard. You know what I'm saying?
It does seem like she's been there for the middle class, which a lot of my family is.
All right, joining us now with reaction is ESPN host, the one and only Stephen A. Smith. You want to get it out of the way.
I'm saying there's a cooking
now,
channel you can get into.
How hard your
like
life
that.
is, that you have to defend the fact that you admit that you're friends with me. You want to get that out of the way at the beginning or at the end?
No,
Just asking.
And that's the thing too. We can be friends with people that support Trump. Only from the standpoint of what exactly you're supporting for. Is it for a business thing, tax credits, all that stuff? That's fine. I understand you want to control your money. When I make hundreds of thousands of dollars, I want to keep the majority of that. So if somebody could put me in positions where I can keep the majority of my money, that's fine, right? But there's nothing that has been stated from Trump's side other than tax breaks for these super wealthy and corporations that are really impacting the bottom line of people's dollars. I mean, I get people can't be friends with people who are Trump. Like, traditional Republicans, I'll put it like that. Traditional Republicans, I can be friends with, right? Because I understand what their pain points are. They might not have the same pain points as you or I, right? They might not care about childcare because they have a nanny. They don't care about women's rights because, hey, my wife doesn't work. So if this was a traditional Republican candidate, I think there'd be a lot more, well, one, people wouldn't care as much because it's not so polarizing of a topic. At the same time, Republicans do hope that people don't vote. That's just really how it goes. And not just for president, that's for any player. They really don't want you to vote because they know that if the mass majority of individuals in America were to have a voice, they would out a lot of these people, right? And again, they're trying to dictate us what's important. Immigration is not something that I'm super worried about. I'm going to keep it a beam with you. They're not getting all these thousands of dollars. They're not getting all these things. They do get some things like, like food stamps, things like that, which I don't care about. Like, you just got here. Here's a couple dollars, get yourself on your feet, get to work. That's it, right? And the thing is, we make it seem like there are so many people hopping the fence. When we look at immigration, look at actual data points, the majority of people that are the illegal immigrants that we're speaking about with those numbers, we are paying it, Natalia. We do pay it. You pay your taxes, I assume. You don't know what your money going to. You just assume and that's the same thing. I use the example that I've used in the past. My house doesn't burn down every day, but I pay for the fire department. Nobody breaks in my house every day, but I still pay for it. They don't, oh my God. Okay. User, whatever. Why am I talking to a user? Why am I talking to a user? But I'm gonna talk to a user. He's in my chat, so I appreciate him. How do they apply for that? How do they apply for the government program with no social security card? How do they apply for a program and have no social security number and get a bank account? How do they have the information necessary to acquire such things? You got fingers, I assume. Type that out for us. That's really, what I'm saying? Like, they get IDs. If Manuel gets an ID so he could buy a 12-pack after a long day on the job site, more power to Manuel. You know what Manuel paid for that 12-pack? He paid taxes on that. He didn't go to the illegal food store. There's no such thing. I don't know if you knew that, but there's no such thing. So whenever thank you, Mansa, I trust me, I know. But you got these people come in here, but they have warped senses of reality. That's just what it is. They have warped senses of reality based on what they've heard somebody else who they trust say. And it's just not true. Housing them is not expensive. They work jobs. Natalia? I don't know how to say your first name. Marin? They on the job site. Yeah. Hey, white man, don't take woke and make it something else. We know what woke means because black people created woke. It meant to just watch out for white folks. I don't know how it became being socially conscious about other people's rights. I mean, I'm cool with that. But at the same time, that's not what it meant. And we talked about this numerous times, man. The border wall, there was already a border wall. Walls don't stop anything. Wait to hear about this thing called a boat. Have y'all seen a boat before? Let me show you a boat. A boat. Now, because I'm an educational channel, I will take the time to go into this. You see, this is an aquatic device known as a boat. And a lot of people use it to circumvent certain land masses that are in the way. There's also another thing that people use. Now, this might be foreign, but if you look at this, this is what's called an airplane. Now, you may notice it's not either in the water nor on land. These are used to circumvent long distances in a quick amount of time, okay? They get 12. Where did you hear? I want everybody to take a look at this. User 1 million. They get $1,200 each. Now, what is $1,200 going to do? I don't know. You can give me $1,200 right now. It'll be gone by next week. But housing, I don't know if there's the immigration house, clothes from the Goodwill, or what organization gives the clothes? Furniture from Rooms to Go, Haverty's, who's that person? And medical, how would they get the medical? Is there a card they get? Do they apply for that when they first get here? Within 90 days, Jesus Christ, that's pretty quick. So you're saying from October to January, they would get all this within 90 days? You see what I'm saying? Like, there has to be a test we have to start taking for people. Because I'm all for people having the right to vote. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, you're not good at it. You're not good at it, man. You know, there's an app now I will correct you a bit. There's an app that they use to get asylum appointments. We've talked about that before. The issue with that app was there was only 750 appointments per day. They've upped that number to 1,450. And even that goes quick. You have to be on exactly at 9 a.m. or you will be out of your spot in the first 5 minutes. I found that out maybe 4 weeks ago on this very stream because someone else brought it up and I researched it. See, I just gave you some information. Now, hop out of TikTok real quick. Go research it. And if you see me again, come back in here and tell me what you found. All right, enough of this stuff. Let's not being silly. Let's get to the actual video. I'm sorry. It is racism. Jesus Christ. That's the focal point of this. Come on now.
I don't need to get that out of the way. The public knows that already. You get on my nerves. I don't agree with you 75% of the time, but you're still my buddy. You know, I feel bad for you half the time with some of the takes you give, but I'm here to help you out anyway. What's going on, Sean?
Okay. All right. I always say, you say to me, stay in my lane when I talk sports, stay in your lane on politics. However, there's something amazing. Putting aside any demographic group, if you're going to attack them, you want them to vote a certain way, and you're going to suggest that they are sexist or misogynistic, if you're going to suggest, like Stacey Abrams did, that African-American men are racist and sexist.
There is no actual footage or documentation of Stacey Abrams saying that. As a person who lives in Georgia, trust me on this one. Also, we don't call people sexist, racist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic without some sort of backing. And that comes from whom you support, right? If there was a person in Atlanta that was known for just slapping women in the face, pouring liquor on them, and I was like, I bang with him, that is something to assume that I would support his ideals and his actions. Does that make sense? So if we have people that say Puerto Rico is a trash pile floating in the ocean, it is safe to assume that that is the mindset of a large portion of those people that are in attendance, right? Puerto Rico is a very nice place. I went to San Juan in 2016. It was beautiful. It was a great time with my family, right? But we can assume based on the actions of the people that you support that this is how you feel about things. So that if that's not you, you have to be very loud about the disagreement with that. That makes sense? That's very easy to understand, I think, you know?
Is that a good way to encourage people to vote the way you'd like them to vote?
No, but I didn't hear Stacey. I didn't hear Stacey Abrams speak.
Also, last time, let the video play. What happened to the Venezuelan gangs? Oh, I don't forget stuff. What happened to the Venezuelan gangs? Anybody know? Are they still out there running amok? Are they? You know? What happened to? Did the Haitians, the legal Haitians, are they still eating dogs and cats? Does anybody know? Anybody keep up with that? What about the Venezuelan gangs that was in Chicago? Anybody know if the Hell's Angel got there and helped them out? You see what I'm saying? When you actually start working through these theories, they burn themselves out after a while. It's just how it goes. They just vanish. The Venezuelan gangs won, and I guess they took their spoils back to Venezuela, which, by the way, from Colorado is 3,000 miles away. So unless they got back in the truck and drove, I don't know how they got back to Venezuela.
Speaking that way. A matter of fact, she talked about how black men do vote, black men do support.
Also, we almost said 10,000 likes already. We only been on the stream for 20 minutes. This is a great return back to streaming. I appreciate y'all so much for that. No homo. Pause. I'm sorry to those that are LGBT. I love you too. Also.
Kamala Harris. Black men do support a lot of the Democrats and what have you. She's absolutely right about that. You know, I spoke against President Barack Obama, who I know you don't like that, but I admire and respect this man. I did not like what he had to say at that particular clip that you showed, and I spoke out about it on my show, the Stephen A. Smith Show, and I'm unapologetic about that because I know, by and large, black men have always supported black women. That's a fact. That's a point of fact. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't some misogyny that does exist amongst a few in our community. But I think that when we looked at this election that's forthcoming, and we see Kamala Harris going up against Donald Trump, I don't think it's right to point to that as a reason why it's a nip and tuck race and why she isn't receiving the support that she deserves. And that is why I spoke out against what he had to say on that particular issue, because I was refuting.
Damn. Hold on, y'all. I had to pause. Project Pat just said something real. I want y'all to look. I want y'all to look now. I'm in Chicago, and a Venezuelan gang, all of them, by the way, took his job as a senior data analyst. Damn. They're evolving. They know SQL and Tableau. All right, I want everybody to be on guard. Listen, when you get up out of here, when you get up out this chat, get on your Zoom. Get on your calls. Make sure you're not late for a meeting. Make sure you're up on your Excel. There's a couple YouTube channels I want y'all to watch. Make sure you're on this stuff. They're out here and they're taking jobs. I thought they were done. They're in tech sector. Oh, hate speech. Jesus Christ. I got flat. I got hit with a violation. I get hit with violations all the time. But no, what it was the fact that the gang took his job. That's what y'all are missing. You see, they all went to HR and said, look, bro, you paying him what, 110? Bust that down 6 ways. We'll do it. And they was like, well, 6 people for the price of 1. And that's it. See how quickly things can change, y'all? Be careful out there. Stay woke.
What he was saying, I don't believe that to be the case at all when it comes to her.
All right, so let's stay on Kamala Harris for a second here. Democrats are in a state of panic. All the momentum seems to be going to Donald Trump. I told you this would happen in a private conversation we had.
No.
You were skeptical. I think I was proven right. You know sports better than I do. I think I know politics. I know.
You do.
But here's my question for you.
I'm sorry. You know, if y'all new here, this is how it goes. I stop all the time. If you came here to actually watch all 3 in a row with no stops, you got to go to somebody to be pirated. I'm sorry. Now, here's the thing. She only talks in gibberish and never says anything straightforward. That is insane to say. How do you think I know about the tax credits? How do you think I know about the housing, the price gouging, all these different things, the 10 drugs that they are now, they've lowered the cost on? How do you think I know this person does word salads? You know who does do word salads? And it's not even because I don't like Donald Trump. And I'm going to tell you right now, I dead ass be listening to him like, okay, bro, get your shit off. When he was talking to the Commerce Club, well, not Commerce, the Economics Club in Chicago, y'all remember that? We sat here on this stream and watched it. How many incoherent statements did he make? How many times did the head of the Economics Club have to be like, big dog, what are you talking about? That's not the question that I asked you. How many times did that happen? I'm wrong? So when we talk about word salad, this man must be a Caesar, a Cobb, because I don't understand what he's saying. And I'm like, how do people support this? If my people, and I'm talking about liberal, Democrat, progressive, whatever you want to call it, had a candidate that when we asked, wait, now see, this is why I need multiple windows, because I don't know what might pop up when I start typing, all right? Now, I'm a nice young man, but you know, hold on. Donald Trump. I got something for you. Hold on, Mr. Word Salad. Man, where's it at? Hold on, Mr. Word Salad. Don't you swipe up. Don't you touch that dial. Don't you touch that dial. All right, am I in frame? Cool. Here we go. Watch this.
They did not listen to Biden or Harris. Okay? So we're going to the next step.
Thank you for the thank
Well, I think these people work hard. They're great. And I just saw something, a process that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. These are great franchises. And
hold on, now, this is from the back. I want to see him from the front. Whoa. Pause. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But he got a little monkey on his back. I ain't gonna hold you. Trump kind of holding. Anyway.
Minimum wage should be raised.
There we go. Well, I think these people work hard. They're great. And I just saw something, a process that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. These are great franchises. And produce a lot of jobs, and it's great. And great people working here, too.
But minimum wage is
Recently increased.
So, yes, ma'am.
Minimum wage should be raised.
Mr. Word Salad, come here. Let me talk to you. Wait, all that. Mr. Word Salad. What's up, big dog? The question was, being that you're currently working in a McDonald's that is closed, minimum wage is $7.25 nationwide and has been that way since 2009. What do you think about increasing the minimum wage? That was the answer you got. So would you say that's a Caesar, Cobb salad, chicken parm? What kind of salad do you think that was? Okay. So Stephen A. Smith, Sean Hannity. Hold on. You see? This is why we never get through videos. Minimum wage increase is a terrible thing. This man said, Americans don't make enough to support themselves. Minimum wage being increased is a terrible thing. What's his response? Squad Daddy. Terrible name, by the way. You're a daddy of a squad? That's insane. Kamala Harris has been in office as a vice president. Now, though you've been online for the last 4 months, you do understand that a vice president doesn't have the roles and responsibilities that you feel like they do. We've discussed this. Think about, okay, let me put it like this. The manager of a Walmart, let me make it so you can kind of understand it. The manager of a Walmart has ultimate decisions on the ordering of the schedules and the final say-so on a lot of things. The assistant manager of the Walmart does not. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'm just seeing if I can make it make sense to you. Okay? So, and this makes a good point. House and Congress does have to pass all of what this while she has planned, when she does have plan. So Joseph is making a good point though. Kamala Harris can come with all the plans in the world that are poignant to our needs. At the same time, it's up to the House and Congress to pass that legislation forward so she can sign it. So when we vote, I do tell people vote blue all the way down, but at the same time, if you really want rights for you as a person, you gotta vote blue. Because when I look at policies of Republicans, they're not really for your everyday person. And that's just not because I'm like so pro-Democrat and everything. It's just that the policies that they're lining out are not poignant for people like us. It just is what it is. Have I voted yet? No. I know people can look that up, so I'm not even gonna lie and be like, yeah, I did it. No. I ain't voted yet. I got a lot of stuff. I've been doing a lot of stuff, and I was out of town for like the last 4 days. But I'm gonna vote tomorrow morning, actually. And again, you're saying the 16-year-olds in California can't get jobs. Brother. I was a lifeguard in 2002, right? I was a lifeguard with dudes that was 36. There's enough jobs, low-level jobs, low-paying jobs for all of us. Is what it is. Jay, baby, come here. Let me talk to you. Zero income tax. So you know what funds a lot of the roads and the fire departments I mentioned and police stations and all that stuff? You know what funds that? Tax. The second word in what you said, right? If we get rid of the income tax, how do we pay for these things? And Trump's answer is tariffs. And we'll get into tariffs later because I've talked about this at length for numerous times. Your state tax. My nigga. Boy, y'all in Montana and Mississippi finna be pissed if y'all gotta rely on state tax. That's gonna be crazy. Anyway, let's get back to it, man.
Did call her out early. And you said she's making a mistake not doing interviews.
Oh, we hit our goal. Woo! Wait, hold on. I can't see myself. Hold on. Woo! Woo! Come on, face. Come on, Apple face. Yeah! Whoa, both. Yes. And also something else too. Hold up. Is it this? Is this the move? It's not. What's the explosions? Is it this? I thought it was this. Yeah! We did it. 10,000 likes. All right, back to the work.
Now, she does these interviews And I argue to you that the reason she's struggling and she's like tied up in a pretzel because she can't express what she has stated publicly, that she wants the Green New Deal, the elimination of the filibuster. She can't say she wants to eliminate private health insurance, as she has said in the past. She's not going to run on what she has stated in the past to decriminalize illegal immigration, free food, housing, healthcare, education, sex change operations, and a path to citizenship.
I'm going to address what he just said. Look at what I Am Poetry wrote. Public schools and libraries, police officers, fire departments, roads, bridges are all paid for by federal tax. Fam, you know what's crazy? They'd be like, oh, we failed civics class. I have civics class down here. That's his friend, and I think that Stephen A. just wanted to talk, and so he was like, I bet, come on my show. That's why Stephen A. there. But we didn't have civics class in Georgia. We had social studies. That's the best thing we had in government. And I learned these things, and they just became second nature. Like, you understand that how stuff works, and we watched Schoolhouse Rocks because at that point it was like 20 years old, but like it was still pertinent today. And it's just that people really don't know. You went to a magnet school in Georgia, brother. I know you. But yeah, I just don't understand how people don't get this. And even if you didn't get it before this election started, which is still wild, but even if you didn't, you can learn it fairly quickly, I think, right? You could learn it pretty quickly, but people just suck at this stuff. And I get it. It's boring sometimes. That's why you have people like me that make it interesting. You laugh at stuff like this, but we also learn at the same time. But it's very pertinent as we are the new adults. Now, again, I'm 38. My demographic demographic makeup here is around 27 to 50, right? So we are the new adults. Some of us are way the existing adults. But it's important for us to know how these things work so that our children can look to us and ask us these questions. And instead of saying, shit, I don't know, we can give them actual factual answers on how things work. And if that may inspire our children to become the next politicians for after we're gone. But it starts with learning how things work and not having misinformation fuel what you do.
Citizenship or banning fracking, banning offshore drilling.
Oh, also, he said something about transgender reformation in prison, which is just, Jesus. I mean, honestly, I don't care. How many people is that? Did you know in America there's only 1.5 million trans people? That is the population of San Antonio. We are trying to make legislation and have strong talking points about the population of San Antonio. In America.
So she has to, give us word salads because she won't tell us how she really feels. She's hiding her true beliefs.
Well,
Donald Trump doesn't do that.
Well, first of all, that's a very long question. Let's get to it. Number one, you talk about what she's doing. Bottom line is this: as Vice President of the United States, it wasn't her job to lead. She has to go along with the program. You are a support base.
Right there. Port Gum, terrible name, by the way. Put Tito on the bus. Now, let's get into Tito. Tito is a farmer that works in Arizona. He was responsible for the strawberries that you love to put in your little smoothie in the morning. Port Gum. If Tito goes back on the bus, who is going to do the work so you get your little strawberries? Did you think about that before you said Tito get back on the bus? Do you want Tito to get back off the bus? It's okay. He's not on the bus yet. This is a theoretical bus. You see how crazy that makes? Port Gum is a crazy name. Y'all got to go back and change these names, dog. You have time.
Support the person that is in charge, who happened to be Joe Biden. That's number one. Number two, I know you're not talking about somebody being lucid and cogent and enunciating their thoughts with clarity, and you're bragging about Donald Trump. We can't be watching the same stuff if that's what you're doing. You ain't going to do that today.
You know
now,
what?
Lindsey Graham, hold it. Now, Senator Lindsey Graham is about to come on this show.
Let me tell you something.
Those strawberries going to be $30 a pack, boy. Bro, listen. Tariffs is... Okay, real quick about tariffs. We'll get into it later, but I'm going to just touch on it. Tariff is a terrible idea. But Trump supporters, let me take this back to your group chats and be like, hey, guys, are we the bad guys here? Yes. Tariff is a bad idea because what's going to happen is you think that, I guess China's supposed to be paying for these, or whoever's really paying for these tariffs, he's trying to put tariffs on our friends and foes. So imagine you and me are homies, and you borrow $1,000 from me, and I say I want 20% extra. You can be like, bro, what you talking about? I know you for like 20 years. You gonna charge me $1,200 for my $1,000 I borrowed from you? Our friendship will kind of be tested a bit, no? On top of that, the idea behind tariffs, just for those who don't know, the idea behind tariffs is that it will spur job creation in America. Let's walk through that real quick. So the brush factory. We need to first see if the tariffs are working before we invest in creating companies and factories to create these brushes. So now the brushes that were $3 are now 20% higher. No, I'm sorry, they're 60% higher because they come from China. So this brush is now $1.80 more. So there are, let's call them $5 for the sake of argument. So now I'm paying $5 while they see if the tariff is being effective enough for them to open a factory here in America. Now, if they build that factory because the tariffs are working, how long do you think it takes to build a factory? There's an apartment complex they started building last July. It is not open. How long do you think it takes for a factory to be built? A couple years? Like 2? Okay. So we're halfway through Trump's presidency. We've been paying 60% to 20 to 60% higher on all our goods for the past 2 years while the factories are being built. Now, once the factories are built, they have to get regulations, inspections, they have to staff them, and when they're finally ready to go, we're at the beginning of year 4. You want your items to be made in a factory that was shut down 17 years ago? The renovations alone would cost millions. And the time it would still take about a year for it to be up to code. You see what I'm saying? You see, this is the mind of a Trump person. They think that things are just plug and play. The infrastructure bill was passed in 2022. I was at Hampton in Virginia for my homecoming. And my homeboy, you missed it, big dog. You missed the homecoming. It was popping. But they're rebuilding the tunnel that goes from Norfolk to Hampton. It's an underwater tunnel. They're doing a lot of renovation to it. Where do you think that money came from? And how long ago was the infrastructure bill passed? So it takes a lot of time to get money to these projects, to get them started. That bridge will not be completed till sometime after this presidency. So for you to say, hey, we're going to lower cost of goods by bringing them to America, which is crazy. The labor cost alone would make the price triple almost. But for some reason, they don't question that because they don't want to be wrong. Let us get through this 9-minute video. We're 4 minutes in.
That man can articulate himself very well.
Him.
Not Donald Trump now.
I have sat with him for hour after hour after hour, topic after topic after topic, and he is so dialed in.
Really?
Look, it's funny. People try. This is like
Ain't
the
he
latest
canceling press
argument.
conferences?
Meanwhile, your friends in the Democratic Party, they ignored the obvious, significant, deep cognitive decline of the president for over 4 years. I said it before the 2020 election. Kamala to this day say, oh, Joe was really cognitively alert. You know that's a crock. I know that's a crock.
What is she supposed to say, Sean?
Knows it's a crock. Not Donald Trump.
Sean, what is it? Hold on. What is she supposed to say? She's supposed to sit up there and say, you know what, my president, my boss.
Truth.
I mean, there was cognitive
how
decline
about the
there.
truth?
No, you're not. No, you don't do that.
Show?
You don't dime out your boss. You don't. Listen, I do tell the truth on my show, but guess what? So I said I do. What I said, however, is that I'm not going to dime out my boss if that's my boss. Go ahead.
Whoa, hang on a second. You know what? I have never watched you hold back. You say what you mean. You mean what you say. That's my point. She is. But she knew he was a cognitive mess, and now she's lying. Oh no, I never noticed it. It's a
because
crock.
Sean,
it's a lie.
Because Sean, what
Just
you're trying
admit
to
it's a lie.
Because what people. But because listen, I personally, a year earlier, I was saying there's slippage, there's something that ain't there. He ain't gonna make it to the election. Y'all better get with the program, do something about it. I was on the record about Joe Biden, but I'm not a part of the Biden administration. And if I was a part of the Biden administration, I wouldn't have told you that. That's number one. Number two, she's the candidate now. You got to run against her. Are you gonna beat her, Sean? Are you gonna beat her? Are you gonna beat her?
It's a straight up. It's straight up.
Trump,
the American people.
Are you as confident as you were months ago?
You know what's crazy? They talk about the age of Biden. Trump and Biden are in the same high school. Y'all know that, right? They're not like so different. Like Biden's a senior and Trump is a freshman. We are not even born yet. That's how far away we are from them. They're in the same school at the same time. Kamala is in elementary school. Like, I don't understand why we have this standpoint on Biden's age. We understand he's old. Nah, Trump is definitely on the decline as well. Have you heard him speak? He don't make sense ever. I don't think he's ever really made sense. And again, I'm not even trying to be biased. Does Kamala flat out answer questions? Yes. What? Yes. Like I said, oh, you must be new here. It's fine. You'll catch up. Don't worry.
Biggest choice election in a lifetime.
I see some slippage on his part.
Stephen A. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
She lied when she said the inflation's transitory. They lied repeatedly, and she said, "Oh no, the border's secure. The border's secure." Now,
are you
all of a sudden,
are you sure you want to make the case about somebody lying in favor of Trump?
Biden has 2 more weeks left. I don't care if he doesn't know how to speak at this point. Like, there's no more legislation that's going to get passed unless he just wants to start signing bills. Like, I don't know. This isn't that hard of a thing to understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't that hard of a concept to grasp. Like, we're about to have a new president fairly soon. It's not that big of a deal. Most Americans, and again, let me explain something to you. Most Americans don't know how anything works. They don't know about legislation that's passed. They don't know how anything really works. Duke, are you black? Wait a minute. Is Duke black? Can somebody tell me if Duke's black? I can't see. His Abby's so small. He does give me features of the African. Ooh, give me 1 second, y'all. Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial. 1 second. Fuck is the mute at? 1 second. Hello. My bad. Daddy got to work. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that. Anyway, let's get back to the thing. I don't want to lose too many of y'all.
Positions on.
Listen, DNC, hey, big dog, you're doing a great job. We're gonna send you some more money. Just keep it up. All right, daddy. Nah. But you good. All right, y'all. Here we go. Let's keep going.
She never changed her position on the Green New Deal, on sex change operations, open borders, amnesty, until she became a candidate. You know what that means? She is a typical politician that just will say whatever needs to be said to win an election. You get the last word because I
Can
like
I
you so.
retort?
My bad. Okay, so I'm back to Duke. Duke, why are you voting for Trump? Or if you are, you might not be. You might be like, I ain't voting for Trump. Okay, well, you just caused discourse for no reason. Why are you voting for Trump? I am very curious about that because I don't speak to a lot of black men that are voting for them because, you know, we just think. But what is it? What made you say, this is where I want to roll? Because I do want to know. Now that I have one in here, Duke definitely ain't voting. This is Duke's time to shine. This is Duke's time to shine. He been waiting on a TikToker, Twitch streamer, anybody to be like, hey, big dog, why are you voting for Trump? This is your time to shine, baby. Why? What is it about it? I swear to God, he's about to go crazy with the misinformation. But go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. But I'm gonna let the video play. As soon as Duke comes back with the answer, I am going to make sure that he gets all the time in the world.
So much.
Can I retort? Let me.
Duke, we are on a text thread, and you said that. We are on Duke. Please don't kill him, y'all. I see people typing. Please calm down. Don't do it to him. He has a daughter. He has a family. He has a family, dog. Don't. All right. You have a daughter, and you want her to grow up in a safe place. You know, your daughter, which I'm assuming she's young. You like a young man, so she's probably what, 6, 7, 8, something like that. What are you afraid that's gonna happen? You're afraid that the big bad robbers, the Venezuelan gang is gonna come back, spin the block? Since when does his flat out racism reach our community? What? Give an example of Obama doing something. You see this on my shirt, bro? Let me give you a quick little thing. You can take this back to your group chat or whoever it is you congregate. Obama gave my school millions of dollars as an HBCU. That's historically black college. It was a major thing for us. We're a private institution, so we don't get government funding like that, but we are part of the program that gives out money to HBCUs. So we did get a lot of money from him. Trump did not give more money. Biden gave the most money, actually, if you want to be clear. You can just Google it. Just hop out the chat, go Google it, come back with the facts, and we'll forget you just said what you said. But I wanted to just let y'all know that crime is lower because they don't include big cities. Crime is lower overall. Overall, it is. Trump did that, not Obama. You could tell who just turned 23, like, recently. It's kind of crazy how people say that Obama didn't give money to HBCUs. You know what's crazy? Bush was not the first. Bush gave money first in our lifetimes of being like teenagers and adults. Then Obama increased the number, then Trump came back with another number, and then Biden gave the most. So crime isn't lower. That was fake shit. I'm so happy that this young man has come through with the statistics of saying that crime isn't lower because that shit was fake.
Yeah.
Let me retort. Fair enough.
Okay.
You didn't even bring up fracking. You didn't even bring up the border. That's absolutely a valid
That's what
point
every
on your
president
part.
does.
What she's doing now is saying, excuse me, I'm open to compromise. I'm willing to work across the aisle. I'm willing to listen and make things happen. Now, you have a lot of people who are going to vote for Trump, and they absolutely, positively believe he will change.
You know what? Let's put this HBCU rest to bed. How much did Obama give to HBCU? They know what I'm about to ask. They know what I'm about to ask. They know what Big Daddy about to ask. Let's see. Over the course of 7 years, the Obama administration invested $4 billion into HBCUs. Okay? That's one. Let's go to Big Daddy Trump. Let's go to Big Daddy Trump. So Trump gave $255 million annually. Now, that's not the end of the story. Let's just pull out the old quackulator here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hopefully I got my numbers right. 25. Oh, they don't have commas. Damn. What's that? 2.5 million. Yeah, 2.5 million. 25. There's the number. Times 4. What is that? 10 billion? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Is that $1 billion? That's it? Wait a minute now. Duke? Where's Duke? I thought, but you said, well, look at that. Hold on. Let's just finish the experiment here. Biden gave, Duke. Wait a minute. Where you at? Duke, come here. That's $17 billion. Now, I don't know. My math is bad because my calculator didn't have commas in it. But based on the chat, it looked like Trump gave $1 billion and Biden gave 17. Duke, don't go away. Don't ever come to a person who literally combats misinformation for a living and tell me what I don't know. Ever again in nobody's chat. Ever again. Duke.
Washington.
Your daughter is a beautiful young lady. But I need you to understand she needs to stay away from you when it comes to education. Teach her the rest of life lessons. Don't teach her about nothing else.
Question is, will it be for better or will it be for worse? The cesspool that we look at as the nation's capital, if you got him back in office and he's on a revenge tour and he's not focused on doing what it takes to lead the country, where will that lead the country?
Yeah, it was $1 billion over the course of 4 years. $255 million per year. Making excuses. Man just saw the literal data and said, if you believe that. What?
Country. You're not bringing that part up. So again, we might not like something on the left. We might not like something on the right. These are the two candidates that we've got to work with. And when you bring up issues in terms of character or in terms of being truthful or whatever, let me tell you something right now.
All right.
You can bring up
Pork and beans. Oh, that's literally your name. I was going to make fun of your name. That's literally your name. Pork and beans. What's your question? The chat moves too quick. I ain't see it. What'd you say?
a whole bunch of Republicans, and I'd be cool with it. You can't bring up Trump to make a case against somebody else using those arguments. You can't do that.
Look, you know what?
They're done here with this one. Stephen A. kind of got, I'm not going to lie, because Stephen A. was coming with facts, and Sean Hannity would just be saying shit. All right. Now we got my man Anderson Cooper, my half-black, half-white king, and Charlamagne the God, who I love. I love Charlamagne. I've been banging with Charlamagne for like 10 years, a little bit longer. So, here we go. We have Charlamagne the God versus Anderson Cooper.
I think that her saying...
And don't worry. Wait a minute. Using the Democrat machine... Alphabet is a Democratic tool? I've told some of y'all this before. You know, when this is all over, perhaps me and my wife will make a couples channel. Do pranks. This motherfucker said that Google was... Look it up. Okay, you know what? They probably did donate. Let's see something. Hold on. He might be right. Hold on, let's see something. Alphabet, the multinational conglomerate company. God damn. Well, donate to HBCUs. Wait a minute. Oh. Alphabet has not donated to HBCUs. But other organizations have donated HBCUs, including Bloomberg, Google. Oh, Google as a whole donated $50 million to HBCUs in the United Negro College Fund. Go Google. Thanks, man. I would not have known that had you not said some dumbass shit. Keep saying dumb stuff. That makes me look it up, and then I just be like, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, he's right. Not the way he thinks, but he's right. The Google has donated, well, Alphabet, the company, donated $2.2 million to Kamala Harris, Future Forward, Democratic senators, DNC Service Corps. Whoa! But they gave him $150,000. Every little bit counts. Biden reduced funding to HBCUs. You see what I'm saying, bro? We just went through this. What you say? Google gave more money than the government. Jay. You just saw us pull up $17 billion from the Biden administration to HBCUs. And you just saw, did you think that was $50 billion? Did you think that was $50 billion with a B? That's crazy. Anyway, let's get back to the actual video, y'all. This is why Vosh and Hassan get through their stuff. They just ignore chat. But I don't, because I care about y'all. But goddamn, y'all make this difficult. Y'all make this difficult sometimes. I will say that.
That she thinks that she believes Donald Trump is a fascist, got a lot of headlines because it was the first time she said it. She's been going along for days saying Mark Milley said he's a fascist. This person said this. You raised the question of authenticity in your interview with her, and that was.
Kayla, honey, wait, you might be helping my point. I don't know. Trump passed a bill that provides $250 million a year to black colleges that goes on now. Kayla, if you think that started in 2016, I have some news for you. I have some news for you. I have several articles for you, baby.
Was an authentic.
You're telling the person that's literally wearing a shirt from HBCU how HBCUs are funded. That's crazy. Please don't do that. That's crazy.
Where she says, yeah, I do think he's a fascist. And I think that's why it had a reaction. Donald Trump, he for whatever you think about him, if you like him, if you hate him.
I gotta take my sweatshirt off because clearly I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to cut the air on. I'm hot. All right, don't look at my tush when I run away. I'm about to run. Don't. Hey, hide your eyes. Hey. 70 degrees in this bitch. All right, I'm back. My bad. Pause, man. I can't be looking at the goods, man. Hold on. All right, let's get back to it.
He is certainly who he is. He's showing
you saw them cheeks was cheeking, man. Hold up. Listen, hold on. I don't know if y'all can see that. We got the bike, the walking machine. Hey. You think Hassan is hot? Wait till my 5'9" ass starts going shirtless on stream. I'm taking all his juice. He can have the Israel-Palestine stuff. I stay away from that.
Who he is every single day.
Yeah, which is a fascist. And it's crazy because you still don't have news networks having that conversation. Like when somebody says, when somebody questions Kamala Harris's blackness or is she a DEI hire, y'all will have roundtable discussions about that, asking that question. How come you're not having roundtable discussions asking, is Donald Trump a fascist? Actually not even asking it, stating it. I mean, when you look at the things that he's talking about doing, jailing journalists, jailing his political opponents, turning the military on American citizens. The guy said he wanted to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. How come that is not the topic of discussion on networks like CNN every day?
But do you?
He's absolutely right. Baseball dad. Since you're a baseball dad, and I played baseball for 15 years of my life, I will humor you and look up what you're asking. Ladies and gentlemen, give us 1 second. Baseball dad, give me your point. Give me your take. I will look it up on stream. And if it comes out that, what did you say? Alphabet funds the Democratic Party. We just looked that up and that was true. They did give money. They gave the most money to Democrats. And they gave like $150,000 to what you call it. I need to click. See, Streamlabs is trash. Oh, wait, is there a thing for that? It's not. Let me pop this out. Oh, good, I can pop out the chat. Oh, I can put y'all over here. Oh, I'm learning something, baby. I move this over, put that here. Bam. Now I got y'all over here. Okay. But write your thing, man, and let's see what's going on.
You think that, I mean, you were raising this with Kamala Harris about her own authenticity, about her own willingness to just, say things that aren't crafted. Do you think she needs to do more of that? Trump's going to go. Trump's going to go. Apparently, Trump's going on. Is going to tape a thing with Joe Rogan. Do you think she should do?
Who's winning what? Are you saying who's winning in the polls? It's kind of dead even. It's honestly 48-48. I know that doesn't seem like a 50-50, but there are undecideds and third-party people, so that's why you're not going to get a full 50-50. It's too close to tell, quite honestly. I don't know why. I don't know why it is too close to tell. That's insane that it is so close, but it is close. And it will come down to the wire. So, vote, please.
Do that.
I think that she should keep calling Donald Trump a fascist. And I think that Americans need to keep looking at the rhetoric of Donald Trump, because I don't know why we're even thinking about electing somebody who's talking about putting people in camps. I don't know why why we want to elect somebody who's talking about mass deportation.
Well, don't write the question, Baseball Dad, and then leave. I want to look it up, fool. Why would you write it and then be like, I'm about to head out? Bruh, I'm going to entertain your thing. I'm not that kind of streamer. I'm actually going to listen to what you said. All right, this is for Baseball Dad. This is for Baseball Dad. Let's see. Uh-oh. Wait, so who was spending $45 billion in? Oh, I know what you're talking about. So the proposed bill, okay. Baseball Dad. Hope you didn't leave yet. Let me explain. So what Baseball Dad was trying to say is that the number decreased, but it decreased from $45 billion down to $2 billion. Then it was increased to what it is now, the $17 billion. So he's right but wrong at the same time, That makes sense? We all learned something today. There we go.
I don't know why we're having this conversation about somebody who wants to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. Aren't we supposed to be a patriotic country? Whenever somebody like Colin Kaepernick takes a knee in this country, everybody talks about, oh, that's so unpatriotic. But a guy can say he wants to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election and nobody cares?
And
like
start an
even
insurrection.
me bringing it up now, you brought it back to Kamala and Joe Rogan. Anderson?
Yeah.
Who gives a damn?
Well, I think you give damn who's elected president, and
Yeah,
I'm
especially
asking
if that
you.
president is a fascist. That's talking about putting people in camps. That's talking about, once again, terminating the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. That's talking about, jailing his political opponents.
Yeah.
Like, that rhetoric doesn't scare people?
We talk about this every single. This is what
I don't think
I've been
y'all talk
talking
about
about
it
this
enough.
every night.
I don't think y'all have enough conversations about it. I feel like I heard more on this network about is Kamala Harris black than I do about, Donald Trump being a fascist.
Well,
am I wrong, Angela?
Honestly, that's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Oh, I like that.
That's
Go ahead, Anderson.
I'm not. Look, I'm a huge fan of yours.
Okay.
But to say that we're sitting around discussing is Kamala.
Baseball Dad, that's crazy. If you think that Biden didn't want to fund HBCUs, something that he was a part of. You forgot he was with the last administration? What do you mean he want to fund HBCU? This is going to piss me off. Baseball Dad. Y'all seeing my vacuum? Hold on, let me get. You pissing me off, dog. What you mean he was a part of Obama's administration that funded HBCUs. What do you? What?
Harris black,
I've seen that. I've seen
that's
those roundtable
definitely
discussions
on.
a lot. Now
That's
that's
true.
bullshit, Anderson. For you to say that y'all don't have those conversations.
I've never asked somebody is.
Oh, I'm not saying
Kamala
you.
Harris
I
Not
said the
you.
network.
He said the network. He
I don't
did say
think
the
anyone
network.
I don't think any anchor on this network has been going around saying, "Is she black?"
Y'all never
It's
had
definitely. It's
I mean,
definitely
we have
been.
had. Look, I'm sure we have had.
Oh no, Carl. Trump broke the internet by having an interview with Joe Rogan. Oh no. You know what? I think I'm gonna stream for the rest of the day. After we get through this one, we have Kamala Harris on Shannon Sharp. And then, because my man said that, you're right, I forgot about that. Joe Rogan. Where is that shit at? Oh, isn't it it's not on his thing. Where is it at? It's on Spotify. Ain't he in a Spotify deal still? Or does he show it? He just shows the clips? It's fucking stupid. So how do you know it has 37 million views? Wait a minute, hold on. How do you know it has 37 million views? Is it on YouTube? Shannon Sharp's one has, where is it at? Move this over. Does it say? Let me refresh it.
And what I read on this card,
Shannon Sharp's only at 231,000 views. Joe Rogan Experience. Joe Rogan don't want to endorse anybody. He just want to have the conversation for the clicks. Joe Rogan Experience. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. Updated 2 days ago. This might be it. Okay, cool. All right, there we go. Appreciate it. There we go. Yeah, it's 34 million views in 2 days.
You know, nutty people or people who have strongly held beliefs who I may disagree with, who somewhere on some panel have said something, but I will just speak up for what I do on the show. I do believe it's important to get people different viewpoints as long as they're willing to have a legitimate conversation. It's what I don't.
He wants to have no tax on overtime, but just was on record saying he doesn't like he hates paying overtime. For the because again, y'all know I don't lie on this stream here.
And you know, it's going to lead to great things. A lot of people don't give. I know a lot about overtime. I'd hated to give overtime. I hated it. I'd get other people, I shouldn't say this, but I'd get other people in, I wouldn't pay. I hated.
Just in case you missed it, it's a little loud in the beginning. Let's one more time. It's 15 seconds.
And you know, it's going to lead to great things. A lot of people don't give. I know a lot about overtime. I'd hated to give overtime. I hated it.
Look at the people behind him. Do you think these people make $300,000 a year? I don't think so. Yeah, man. So anyway.
Like our surrogates who come out and just spout talking points that they don't even.
How does his business opinion have anything to do with his tax policy? My brother in Christ. Do you think he's going to support something he doesn't agree with? The man that's known for not paying his bills? Come on now. Oh, I saw what that young man said about Puerto Rico. We talked about that in the beginning. No, and they said nobody cares. Oh, okay. Y'all gotta change our abbeys when I come here, man. Y'all can't have the black faces on and say crazy stuff like that, man. Y'all making me look bad. Y'all making me look bad.
Even believe, and those are people.
Comedians can talk at a rally, at a political rally. You can do a tight five about how Puerto Rico's trash. That's crazy, bro. You have a crazy way of thinking.
People I tried to eliminate from having ever on the air again.
I think no network has honest conversations about Donald Trump. Nobody's had honest conversations about Donald Trump since 2016. I saw last night they were talking about, the double standard that exists between Donald Trump and the vice president. But it's always a double standard with Trump, whether it's with Hillary, whether it's, against Biden, now with Kamala. We talk about him being a threat to democracy, but we don't treat him like one.
I don't know what you've been watching, but
Lion Leaf. I was at that rally with Meg Stein was there. What, you mean Texas Southern University graduate Meg Stein? She didn't actually twerk, actually. Now that you think about it, I was hoping she would. If you want to keep it a bean, I was hoping she would. Oh, man. It's a political rally. Yeah, man. She didn't say that Jamaica is ass cheeks. You see what I'm like? You get the difference? Puerto Rico is a floating pile of garbage. Hey, y'all, get out and vote. Twerk, twerk, twerk. Don't be dense, bro. She's not a comedian. Meg the stop.
I don't know of any Trump supporters out there or people who like him.
We get it, bro. You're pulling for a fellow alumnus. See, this is what I mean. Okay, see how people are. I'm wearing the name of my school on my shirt. This man said, we get it, bro. You're pulling for a fellow alumnus. What college did... All right, Big C. Good to see you, brother. What college did Kamala Harris go to? It starts with an H. It starts with an H. There is an H in the school name. She went to Howard University, big dog. Literally, the other HU, the worst one.
Who are tuning in to me every night to try to get, to be validated in their opinions. Like,
This is an honest call. Oh, I typed too bad. This is an honest question. How does Kamala propose to fix the AB issue? Antonio Brown? What AB issue? What do you mean? Abortion issue. You have to ratify abortion. That's like an executive order type thing. Right? We can't leave it to states because those same states would, keep it the way it is, and women would die. So, yeah, she has to step in. She has to codify Roe v. Wade. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. But again, don't think because when this is over, I'm gonna go make random TikToks about bullshit. We're gonna be very critical of what she does. Don't get it twisted. This ain't that. This ain't. Oh, codify Lion Leaf. I don't know. Does he know? I got you, player. Don't worry, my black brethren. Arrange laws or rules into systematic code. Arrange according to a plan or system. The statutes have been codified certain branches of common law. My bad, it's out of frame. There you go. There you go, Lion Leaf. Just wanted you to make sure you know that word, man. I know. I didn't know what it was either at one point.
I don't know. I don't know. I disagree.
I don't think it's about validating. What you mean, validating the Trump?
What you're saying, like that we're.
Why not be critical for the last 3.5 years? Well, you want me to be critical of a vice president? What am I about to give critiques on? Man, the way she broke that split in the Senate. There you go. There's a critique. She's a vice president, dickhead. Fuck.
Or not that I guess you're saying I'm not discussing all the
Lion Leaf, I literally just said over the next 4 years we're gonna be just as critical of her as the actual president. Did you miss that part? Cardinal fan? You're in St. Louis, Missouri. Are you worried about immigration? From who? Canada? Who are you worried about immigration from? Who? Man, this border wide open. You're in Missouri. Let's use this children's one. Let's use this children's map. Let's scroll down a little bit. Pull this over. Scroll down. Okay. Where are you? You are here. Okay? The border is yeah. Water is yeah. Do you think they're about to skip Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kansas to come to Missouri? In fact, you have less opposition if you just come from the north. Is that what you mean? You worried about the Canadians coming and taking your jobs? Now, a Canadian might take your job. I will say that. You got to watch that. Stay on your Zoom, big dog. We already had my man lose his job to some Venezuelan gang members as a senior data analyst.
the things he is saying and doing and pointing it out and talking to, you know, what John Kelly, I mean, this has been discussed. There's nobody, let me just say, there is nobody on the planet who has not heard and seen pretty much everything Donald Trump has said and knows
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Knows who he is, whether they believe it or not, whether they care or not.
When the vice president said that to you last night, she said, I don't think enough people know.
The vice president's yearly salary is $235,000. Is that true? Because the president's, I know the president's salary is $100,000. Let's look this up. How much? I got a brush. That's what I'm typing so slow. I got a brush in front of me. Hold on, my bad. The vice president make. Ooh, wait a minute now. So she make more than the president? Wow. That's pretty cool. Let's see how much the president makes. Oh, he makes $400,000 a year? All right, guys. What I got? A couple people in here right now. If we all band together, I can get elected. I'll give y'all a couple dollars.
I 100% believe enough people
I
have
give y'all
not
a couple
heard
dollars.
his rhetoric. What do you think, Angela?
I was just about to say, can y'all tag me in? I'm never doing this
I'm
with
sorry,
y'all ever again.
Angela, yes.
Yo, motherfuckers forgot Angela Rye was on this chat. Even though she was saying stuff in the background.
It's the problem of being on satellite. Yes.
I
talk,
know,
please,
it is the
come in.
problem. No, I was just going to say, I think what you're saying is fair, that there have been roundtable discussions where y'all raised this. I think the problem is it would be nice for, you to cut to camera and say, I'm looking right here, right now. Y'all, Kamala Harris is a black woman.
Right,
Let's
that's not
move right along.
Yeah,
But
yes.
but I was gonna say to your colleague's credit, Jake, right after the town hall yesterday, he said that you all had the opportunity to critique what Kamala Harris' policy proposals were, what her positions were, what her recommendations were, whether or not she answered a question fair enough, because ta-da, she's the only one that showed up for the town hall. Yeah. It was supposed to be a debate. He said that. I think that the point is we don't hear those things enough, and it has been a threat. We cannot say, Kamala is going on with Joe Rogan, Donald Trump is going on with Joe Rogan, but Kamala's choosing Club Shay Shay. Debate it. Like, it's like, what is he going to say when he goes on?
Here's what I've been saying, which is it is a double standard because Kamala Harris has policies and she talks about her policies. And you may think she doesn't talk in detail enough about her policies, and plenty do. And I pushed her on that last night. I quizzed. I try to look at the policies from different, but she's got stated policies and you can look them up. Donald Trump does not have policies.
Oh, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and we say, this is nothing new. We talk about this all the time. He does not have his policy. In the 2016, his policy for Iraq was taking Iraq's oil by using U.S. soldiers to surround the oil fields and extract the oil somehow and bring it to America. Literally, and I was like, that's not a thing. So that's been going on now. That's what
you just did.
That is a terrible. Hold on, I'm leaning back. Give me a second. Let me get back in frame. Bloop. That's a terrible policy. Surround the oil fields and just take it and bring that shit. And bring that shit over here. Donald Trump, I don't think we can just take the oil out of Iraq. I didn't know that. So this is new information to me. I'm learning something like y'all. Stealing fucking oil off the ground. That's crazy, bro. Oh.
What you just
did he ever nuke? Oh man, Nikki Rose just said it. Remember when he tried to nuke Hurricane? Nah. We're not gonna let y'all leave without looking at that. Nuke hurricanes. Nuke Hurricane Milton. Wow. The fact people had to search that for that to come up. Trump. Newsweek. Fact check. Did Donald Trump suggest hitting nukes, hurricane with nukes? Yeah. Trump allegedly said hurricanes started forming off the coast of Africa as they were moving across the Atlantic. We dropped bombs on the side, inside the eye of the hurricane to disrupt it. Why can't we do that? So the next time a slight breeze comes into your, wherever you live, shoot it. That's my suggestion. If nuking could stop a hurricane, shoot the storm. It starts raining outside, shoot it. You heard it here first, folks.
That is what I would like to hear more pundits do, because a lot of times we ask
he's
ask
the
answers.
host. All right,
like
but
we say
let me-
things like,
but let me
do
tell
you
you-
think Donald Trump?
Omar said, you know they're gonna say he wasn't serious about that. He was just joking. He was joking. 1978? No, he said 17 something. He said something. What was it? 17 something. He want to take us back to. He said it in a speech. Hold up. Trump. See, I hate to be how to keep stopping, but I feel like we're all learning stuff in crazy form. Trump wants to take us back to 17 something. Here we 6 days ago. Yep. 1798. There it is. There it is. There. Because he wouldn't do that. What's the law? The law that he was trying to do. There it is right here, 1798. Let's see if we can find the actual audio of that. Because some people don't believe the media. Now it's 2019. I don't have it. I did see a clip of it though.
Was
Anyway,
it
back to
fascist? Like I think we kind of got
But
enough
you know
evidence
what?
to know the answer.
I'm not a pundit. I'm not interested. I don't think my opinion is particularly interesting for viewers out there. I'm interested.
Laura, you're a woman. And I think a white woman. You said the lesser of two evils, Trump 2024. Baby, you can't have abortions or IVF or a lot of your rights. What does Kamala want to take away from you? Oh, Duke went back to his daughter. He been gone.
I disagree.
Well, okay, you can quibble with it.
I disagree with that too,
You can quibble
Anderson.
with it, but I believe in asking questions and probing people's arguments and trying to reveal people's arguments, what's true and what's not. And I'm not on MSNBC for a reason. I'm not on some other network for a reason. I'm on CNN because I want to talk to Republicans, I want to talk to Democrats, and I want to learn from them. I don't think I have the answers. I'm willing to change my mind. People can convince me of stuff all the time. I'm not I don't even know why I'm talking about myself. I don't even like talking about myself.
No, but Anderson,
But my
I want.
Laura, you're an American Indian? A native person? And you said Donald Jermaine Trump? Oh my God, man. But y'all see, this is why I go live. On a serious note, I know I be joking a lot here. On a serious note, this is why it's important for chat to be very involved. Because you see other perspectives of other people. And you start to see the way in which they think. She said that Donald Jebediah Trump was for the American Indians or Native Americans. I don't know what she meant by that. I think she's probably white passing. This is why she feels like she's part of the gang. See, they do that. When you're white passing, you think you're part of the gang. Until your birth certificate comes up. And then you get the little side eye. Not for me. I love you.
Point
I wanna
is,
tell you this.
I think what we're doing here is important because
It
I
is
do
so
think in this
important.
country where, you know what, I got so many, I don't look at comments about myself, but I was looking up some comments about my grief podcast and I came across this whole.
Okay, I think Anderson's been done getting beat up for a while. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes. We have two more. And you know, if they're a grand total of 4 hours long, we're going to be here until it's time for me to go to work. So if you're not doing anything right now, I appreciate you sticking around. I would suggest putting some headphones. Go clean you know what we do here, guys. Go clean your room. Go clean your house. Wash your dishes. Feed your cat or dog. And let's lock in. Let's get to the reason why we all came here today. I've been gone for a minute. I hadn't streamed in like a week and a half. Hadn't posted a video in like 2 weeks. Clean them earbuds out first. TikTok shop. We have this lovely keyboard cleaner, complete with a brush for getting those hard to reach places. We have this key remover. We have, for your earbuds, for your earbuds, this nice little nifty tool that gets deep inside the crevices, as well as alcohol. All for the low price of whatever it was on Temu. So, no, I'm not selling that for real. And make your bed. Do some work, hell, fuck it. Don't touch grass, 'cause that means you gotta put your phone down. You can't hear me. Stay inside. All right, we get to the meat and potatoes, y'all. We got Shannon Sharpe, Kamala Harris. This is drop new, like a DJ. New Shannon Sharpe featuring Kamala Harris. We talking student loans, stimulus checks, HBCUs, and Donald J. Trump. Let's get to it. Bring it back to the beginning.
Thank you.
Duty calls for some Call of Duty. Go and play some Black Ops 6. I'll take it from here. Thank you.
Oh, wait, this nigga got an ad in his shit? Wait a minute. Because when I saw an ad, I'm like, well, hold on. I don't do ads in anything that I have. What is this? And you said Black Ops 6. This man got a Call of Duty ad running before. Hold up. You know how crazy that is? To have a Call of Duty ad before your presidential candidate comes on? The military industrial complex? That's insane. That's insane. Shannon, that's insane.
Yes, every vote counts, sir. Who's next? Who's next? Oops. Ooh, one for your son. Here you go. Hey.
I've been grinding all my life, all my life. Been grinding all my life.
Wow. Shannon, Jesus Christ.
Hustle paid the price. Want a slice. Not to roll the dice. That's why all my life. I've been grinding all my life.
Let me center this. I think he has the cropping a little on.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Club Shay Shay. This episode is brought to you by Call of Duty Black Ops 6, the woman that's stopping by for conversation and a drink today. She's the highest ranking woman in U.S. history. She's made a career of being first. She's the first woman to serve as Attorney General, African American, Asian American descent. She's also she's been district attorney of San Francisco. She was the nation's first Indian American senator. She's the first woman, first black.
Also, y'all, real quick, little tidy keep in. We're at 16,500 likes. Let's get to 20. I don't know what none of this stuff means. I'm just happy to have it like that. If you're not following me, let's give me a follow. I have 78 follows. Let's get to 100. I don't know. Share this live out to anybody that you know. We about to get into the meat and potatoes right now. Yeah, it's about to get nasty. Whoa. Pause.
Asian American to be elected vice president. She set the record for the most tie-breaking votes cast by a vice president. She's the first black woman, Asian American in U.S. history to win the presidential nomination of a major party. She's the first HBCU grad, making us proud. She's a Howard University.
Lori, we moved on. Vote for Trump. Go red. Good luck with your family, and hopefully them terrorists don't get you in the middle of the night. Okay?
Alum. She's a member of the prestigious Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Here she is in person, Madam.
Y'all leave Lori alone. She's white passing, yes, but she is a proud Native American indigenous person who is just voting for Trump because he's the lesser of two evils. What the evils are that Kamala has done, she hasn't said yet, but I'm certain she will say it at some point. So leave her alone. Thank you for coming, Lori. I appreciate you, dear. Back to the interview.
VP, Kamala Harris. Madam VP, how you doing?
Thank you very well, Shannon. How you doing?
It is an extreme honor, privilege, and a pleasure to have you on Club Shay Shay. CJ, who's the producer here, when we started.
My bad. No socks on with them shoes is crazy. Crazy. You know his feet probably messed up. Crazy. What's Kamala Harris' biggest accomplishment? Shannon Sharpe just read a whole list of accomplishments literally 35 seconds ago, and this person said, what is her biggest accomplishment? You know what? Her biggest? I don't know. I don't know. Because if I was elected district attorney, attorney general, vice president appointed, broke the most ties in Senate history, I would be like, I don't know either. But that's just me.
This journey, Madam VP, 4 years ago, celebrities, athletes, entertainers, influencers.
Yeah.
VPs.
What did she do during that?
Presidential hopefuls were on the bingo card. You here, so I want to thank you very much.
I thank you.
When we have guests come on, Madam VP, we like to toast. And what I read on this card, you don't deserve this, you earned this. Being the first in so many areas. And you make us proud. I just want you to know you make us proud for what you've been able to accomplish. And we're 12 days away.
My bad. This is just intro stuff. We ain't missing nothing big. He said the bill that she passed caused massive inflation. You know what caused massive inflation? Remember when we was all locked down wearing masks? Remember that thing? That's when inflation started. You know what inflation is right now? Can somebody tell them? Before I do? Too late. 2.4%. You know what national inflation should be? 2 to 3%. Brother, I don't know what to tell you, dog. If you don't pay attention, that's on you, player. But I told you before, go to those TikTok lives where the person is just rambling incoherently. You just agreeing whatever they say. Don't come to the ones that are like me, that actually know what they're talking about and have factual data to pull it up and are on 3 screens looking stuff at whatever I don't know. please, there are more inexperienced streamers down the block you can go to. Okay? This man said, Trump had inflation at 0. Negative 6%. Motherfuckers was getting money back. Every time they swipe their card, they got a couple dollars back. That's how Trump used to have it. Now, I don't know what's happening.
And we hope you have an even greater accomplishment. So here's to continued success in everything you've done and everything that you will do.
Oh, bless you, and thank you. And to you, Shannon, to you for all the success.
The world is experiencing, see, they're still doing intros, so I can interrupt. The world is doing inflation, right? Truth be told, America had the fastest recovery from the pandemic, if you didn't know. We had the fastest one, right? It doesn't feel like it because you're getting, for lack of a better term, fucked by corporations still, but that's because you pay for it. You go to the store and you pay that price. You don't shop around. You say, I gotta have this brand. I gotta have it from this store. I only shop here. And they said, oh, okay. You can tell them no. And they can say, well, damn, we ain't making enough money last quarter than we did this quarter. Maybe we should lower prices to stay competitive. But you chose to go shopping there. So remember that. Next time you go to the grocery store, should I buy these Gianopolo poppers? Should I buy these Tostitos pizza rolls? They are more expensive than what I normally get. But should I buy them? Think about that next time.
That's in the voice you give to so many.
Marcel, listen, player. Target is on my hit list. It's your fault that Target's prices are the way they are because you refuse to shop at Safeway. Support your local Safeways and corner stores and bodegas or whatever mom and pop shop you got. It's the only way we can win.
Issues. Thank you for that.
Thank you very
And
much.
cheers to you.
Cheers.
And
One more
I'm
time.
not going to actually drink this because I might fall asleep, and I need to do this
I don't want you to
with
fall
Barack
asleep.
Obama this afternoon.
We don't want you to fall
So
asleep.
here we are. Cheers to everybody.
So before we get into the things that you want to do once you become president of the United States, I want to go back. When you found out when President Biden called you and said that he was
Bruce is human. That's a cute name. I'm sorry. That's a cute name. You should shop at Safeway. Like, I'm not doing bad in life, but I shop at anywhere that got the cheapest price. I don't play around with that. So there was this one dude, and I'm gonna start the interview after this. I promise. There was one dude who was on TikTok, like, he said, yo, I just went to Walmart and I spent $72 on stuff for chili. A lady went right to Walmart online and got everything he said he had for $35. Some people just don't know how to shop. We never thought about that, but some people just don't know how to shop. They get organic meats, organic veggies, and get surprised at the price. Wait, Safeway's not cheap? I thought Safeway was cheap. Safeway not cheap? My bad. Don't shop at Safeway. It is? It sounds Piggly Wiggly. There we go. Shop at Piggly Wiggly. If you don't know what a Piggly Wiggly is, you're probably in Midwest or out West or something like that. Shop at your local Piggly Wiggly. There we go. Everybody ain't able to have a Piggly Wiggly in their backyard. But, you know, I don't like to brag. You know.
was no longer going to seek re-election.
Yeah.
And you got that call. Do you remember where you were and what you thought when you heard him say these words to you?
I do. So I was home. It was a Sunday afternoon. And my niece, her husband, and their 2 young daughters were visiting and staying with us. And I promised the kids I'd have pancakes and bacon and everything.
Okay.
And then after that, I had a puzzle for the kids, and we were sitting down to do the puzzle.
Okay.
And the phone rang.
Okay.
And it was President Biden. And so that's when he told me. And it was obviously life-changing in so many ways. But, you know, I have to tell you, Shannon, I at that moment, I knew what it would mean, but not in the detail of it, but I certainly understood the seriousness and the gravity of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, one of the first people I called was my pastor.
Wow. Okay.
I knew I needed a moment to just be still, and for my spirit and my mind to have clarity about the
trying to see
seriousness
something.
of the moment and my role. And I'll never forget
Right.
that call or that.
He got to get a better editor. He got to get a better like producer, because what should be here. Can y'all? Is it still in frame? Yeah. What should be here is the breakdown of what the different sections are, so I could jump to something. But here we are.
Moment or that day.
Your life instantaneously changed in that moment.
Yes, it did.
Because now all of a sudden you weren't going to be running, you weren't going to be the VP anymore. You were going to be front and center. And
Right.
you knew what the undertaking, having been 4 years as the vice president, what that moment would mean.
I had a sense of it, you know, like so many of us, you know, when you this is your life, right? So there are those moments where your instinct kicks in, sometimes before your conscious mind and thoughts do.
Right.
And my instinct kicked in immediately that I need to focus and I need to do certain things immediately, which included making, I think we estimated I made over 100 calls that day. My team, and I have an incredible team, all came in, and nobody expected, right? It was a Sunday afternoon.
Correct.
In fact, we actually joked who had taken a shower that day. Because, people came in their workout clothes, different people in, a bandana around their head, just, and came in, and we then, for hours and hours, well into the night.
Did you tell them? Did you tell them why you had summoned them to come to your place? Did you give them that news, or were you waiting for them to get there to share that news with them?
Well, so the news started to, as you
leak
can
out.
imagine, pretty much immediately, and but of the many blessings that I have and have had, one of them is an incredible team of people around me. You know what that's like,
Yes.
where they're just there, and they will rise to a moment, and no matter how high that moment is, or meaning how serious it is. And what I love, and it's certainly my own work ethic, that there is no job too small or too big.
My bad. User a million. You know you can't shop at Buc-ee's. Motherfucker said you have a Buc-ee's near you. Buc-ee's is nothing but meat. Brisket, meat, jerky, nuts. Ain't no vegetables in Buc-ee's.
If there's something that needs to get done.
So, although you have a huge role now, what's a typical day like for you now once you've been
Oh, they talking about getting some meat somewhere else. Oh, my bad. Y'all turning the chat somewhere else. Okay, my bad. I wasn't reading.
thrust into this? What time are you normally getting to bed? What time are you getting up? And what's some of the activities that you do in a given day?
I'd probably estimate 14-hour, 15-hour days.
Okay.
When I wake up, no matter how little sleep or how much sleep I've had, I work out every morning.
Okay.
Because
Yes.
it's like mind, body, and spirit, right? And then and that's the only time in my day I really own. And then it is these days it's not unusual for me to be in 3 or even 4 cities in one day. Rallies.
That is crazy.
With thousands of people. 10,000 people showing up.
My bad.
Making calls to folks. Just now, I landed in Atlanta, the mayor of Atlanta, who greets me every single time. So I'll talk with elected leaders who are supportive about, so for example, here in Atlanta, what do we need to do to make sure that we're giving folks the resources to knock on doors and remind folks of the power of their voice? And 12 days in, it really is a lot about trying to focus on getting folks to know their power, to not let anybody suppress or silence their voice.
Whoa. I didn't slander Buc-ee's. My wife put me on the Buc-ee's many moons ago when we first started dating. Every time we go to Alabama, we stop by Buc-ee's. I love Buc-ee's. I thought you were looking for a substitute for high-priced food. And he was like, I'm about to shop at Buc-ee's. Well, no, you're not. No, you're not.
And to vote.
Right. So breakfast. What does Madam VP eat for breakfast, or do you have time to, or is it on the go?
No, I when I was younger, I didn't think I needed breakfast.
On the way to Birmingham. Whatever Buc-ee's is about, on the way to Birmingham. That one.
I wasn't a breakfast eater.
Okay.
now I have breakfast every morning. It's usually a spinach omelet. It's not very exciting.
Right.
But it's protein with a little vegetable. And, you know, I like chicken, apple sausage, and some toast, and then I'm gone.
Madam VP, you're a couple of years older than myself, so we kind of
Thank
grew up
you.
in the 80s. But I'm only 35.
Come on now, I'm your guest.
35.
No, but you only 30. But we grew up.
But just keep moving, because I'm going to give you a shovel in a minute.
I see. You won't let it go. Dang. We could have just moved on past that real quick, but you drew attention to it. But we grew up in the 70s with music.
Yes.
Went in fire. Ohio players.
Oh, yes, fire. Come on.
Oh, you were like fire?
Come on.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yes.
dun, 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 dun.
Yes. What do you listen to now?
I used to play in Madden 98. Shannon Sharp was my tight end. No matter what team I had, I would draft Shannon Sharp, John Lynch. Shannon Sharp, John Lynch, John Elway. Maybe not Elway. Like a Brett Favre, maybe. Put a little Randy Moss, Chris Carter on your team. We're not going to jump into that. The point was, he is not 35 at all. I'm 38.
Oh, you know, I wish I were listening to more music, to be honest with you, because I love it. Just, but
You don't
when
have
I
downtime? Like when you have downtime?
I don't have any downtime really. I know my little violin I'm playing right now with you. I really don't. But when I love jazz.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's from Thelonious Monk to Miles Davis.
Mm-hmm.
I love Aretha. I was just with Stevie.
Right.
Stevie's, can I tell you?
Yes, you can.
Bucket list. Stevie Wonder on my birthday sang me happy birthday. Can you believe birthday to me?
Oh my.
Can you imagine?
No.
I was literally it was surreal. Can you a bucket list moment?
Right.
When,
they're gonna crucify her online because she was laughing. Like they've been giggling, having a good time. Like I never understood the whole coming at her because she laughs thing. That's such a weird angle. Like she having a conversation and chopping it up, and they can be like, oh, all she did is giggle. What?
when Stevie Wonder himself sings you happy birthday.
As an 18-year-old,
yeah,
could you imagine
Never.
your life would have been like this?
Never.
This many years
Never.
later?
And let me tell you, my mother loved, she had every Stevie and every Aretha Franklin record, every album, like literally every one of them. So Songs in the Key of Life, like all those Stevie songs that were about everything from the movement to optimism. I would have never, at 18, thought that he'd be singing me happy birthday. Ever. Never.
That's the least, but obviously everybody knows who Stevie is. He was a child prodigy, 13 years old, and he was doing great things. But to see, Madam VP, what you've been able to do, you've had so many firsts. The first woman attorney general, African American, Asian American descent. You was the DA of San Francisco. You were the first Indian American U.S. senator.
And second black woman ever in the history of the United States Senate elected. Second in the history of the United States Senate.
Have you had an opportunity to sit back and reflect and say, wow, but work is not yet done?
That's more where I am. The work.
Let's talk about Stevie Wonder and in the glorious melodies in which he bellows.
Is not done. The work is not yet done. There's so much to do. To your point, being in the Senate, there is a weight of responsibility that I know we all feel, right? When we have been blessed with an experience that allows us to be a role model.
Right.
And to hopefully inspire people and to remind them of what's important or point out the things that need to be addressed. So, for example, as only the second black woman elected to the United States Senate, I took on a real role of leadership around black maternal mortality, which affects black women and affects their spouses, their husbands, their families, their children. And I feel a sense of responsibility and a very strong duty to make sure that I use my voice and in a way that is about lifting up people who have not always been in the room.
Hello, America. Mr. States and Shape stepped out for some Black Ops 6.
Dog, that was so jarring. It wasn't even like after these messages we'll be right back. happened. It just happened out of nowhere. I was actually looking at the analytics from the live. And all of a sudden I hear, ladies and gentlemen, Black Ops 6. I said, what the fuck? Wait a minute. Yo. I mean, get that bag, dog. Get that bag. New Black Ops 6 is out. You know, are we on 6? I had Black Ops 2 and 3. We on 6 now. That's crazy. But yes, like Black Geek Energy said, we have 20,000 likes in the chat. We did it. We did it, everybody. We did it. Let's see. Hold on. Give me explosions. Okay, not that. Not that one. Come on, man. Come on, Apple. Yeah. We did it. We did it. We did it. Let's get to 30. So yeah, Black Geek Energy said a while ago, I'm not gonna be streaming the whole time. I'm on election day. I actually was just called that phone call when I got silent for a little bit. I had to go be a poll worker on that day, and then first they was like, "Oh, we can't do it because you don't respond to the thing." And I was like, "No, I signed the paperwork already. What you talking about?" And so I think I should have just rolled with it. That way I can stream all day. But I'm gonna be working the whole day on election day, unfortunately. So, yikes. But up until election day, we're gonna be streaming every day because I have not streamed or made videos or doing anything I needed to do as a streamer for a week and a half because I was being mixy and drunk at my alma mater. I'm sorry.
But I'm here as his replacer.
What would you tell her?
If I could speak to my 18-year-old self, I would probably
Thank you for the follow. Peace. Thank you for the follow, P-Stone. I appreciate it.
Continue to keep your friends, you know.
Yes, and this last I'm gonna stop for a little bit. Yes, being with my college friends and getting drunk with my frat was more important than streaming. I thought about streaming while I was in my Airbnb, but I said, this is my time. And people, you know what's funny? And we'll get right in, I promise you we'll get right back to it. What's funny was, back in college, and the only person who went to college with me was Black Geek Energy, so he remembers me back in college. I was, Jesus Christ, I was about to get in the cut for that. I am an alpha, but I was a partying alpha. You know, the one from the South, from Atlanta, during the height of Atlanta music, parties at my house all the time. And so to see me go from that to a misinformation fact checker, political streamer, serious talker was a bit jarring for a lot of people. But I do appreciate the fact, brothers and Zeta, good to see you. I did not know this light-skinned man. That's a lie. He stayed in my dorm. You stayed in my dorm? He stayed like on, were you on second floor? No, you on second floor south. Or you on second floor north? One of the two, I'm snitching. But no, it was a good thing for people to walk up on me and be like, I really like what you're doing. I love the information you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Random people I had never met were like, yo, I bang what you're doing, bro. It's great. And to go from who I was to who I am has been an amazing journey. And it's just cool to see the impact. Because as you probably, I'm not the first person to tell this to y'all, you never know who's watching. And I realize that more and more each day, that you never know who's out there watching you and watching the things you're doing. So it's good that you just keep being a good person as best you can. That was the last serious thing for a while. Back to the jokes.
You know, my best friend from kindergarten is still one of my best friends.
What?
Yeah.
Marcel be out here on that bullshit. I tell my ex, yo, call that girl. Call her. Because before we started, you was like, hey, text your ex. Now let that slide. This is the second thing in 5 minutes that you just said about your ex. Text that woman, tell you how you feel. That's how I got my wife, man. I'm lying. I never messed up. But I could have messed up. And I still would have texted her and said, I'm sorry. So do that.
Yes.
Y'all made it to the first girl you best friend?
Yes. In fact, she's been out knocking on doors in North Carolina just this last week for me. I would say, you know, hold on to those.
In Ruby's Colorful World, I'm glad you found me. Because when it comes to this information, we're going to give it to you real.
Hold on to that, which is your friends are so important. Your family is so important. I would probably encourage myself at 18 to remember that you have a lot of people who are.
What you mean? Cat speaks. You said no. Hold up. Are voting results coming in? Nah, all right. They don't show the results. How do you do the video split? I use Streamlabs, and so you can set up different windows. So the window that you're seeing me in is obviously my camera. The other one is one of the screens over here. Just one of the ones. You scale it right. It's on Twitch. If you go on my Twitch, it's the whole like a normal streamer, like a small box and a big box. On here, it's half and half. So there you go.
Supporting you even if they don't know you. You know, that's what I mentor a lot of people, Shannon. So this is what I'm really reflecting on, which is what I tell the young people I mentor, including
Streamlabs. You can look it up right now, but don't leave it live. You can't come back in.
To know that even when you are in that room and you're the only one who looks like you or who has had your life experience, to know you are not alone in that room, and that you must therefore walk in that room, chin up, shoulders back, knowing we're all there applauding you. When I mentor young women and men, I remind them that you are often going to be told, well, it's not your time, not your turn, you're too young, nobody like you has done this before. And I tell
Trump, I ain't gonna do that to Trump. He probably do have mentees, hopefully males, not women, for obvious reasons. But I'm certain he has little mentees. They look exactly how you think they look too.
them, you know, don't you ever listen to that. I like to say, I eat no for breakfast. I don't hear no. You ask me what I eat for breakfast? I eat no for breakfast. I don't hear it. Right. And that's part of what are my life lessons that I try to share with young people, to remind them that you cannot ever be burdened by other people's limited ability to understand who you are. Like, don't let their limited ability burden you about your own ability, you know?
Madam VP, you were raised by a single mom. What did that experience tell you about your mom, and what did it tell you about you?
Well, it told me that one of the things that is precious is to build community and family. Okay. Like my mother, she understood that there is a community that she wanted her children to be raised in. Mm-hmm. And she was very intentional and purposeful about that. And so I always say to people, even when I took the stage as the nominee for the Democratic nomination, that, you know, there is the family that you have by birth, and there is also the family you have by love.
Also, let me tell you too, you asked about the mentors of Biden, Trump, Harris, all that stuff. You ever thought about who the interns were? Like who works, like who gets a job there? Well, you're in luck. Let me show you. So let's look at Trump's interns when he was in office. Oh, boom. Oh, shit, wrong one. Boop. Bam. What do you notice about this picture? What did you notice about this pic? Y'all. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. I can. What do you notice about this picture, y'all? See anything that sticks out to you? Now, these are the Trump interns. Now, let's take a look at the Biden interns. Got a couple over here. What do you notice the difference? This is why it's so important that we vote. Because these young children, adults, will grow up to be some of our leaders. And when you're not as diverse, you don't see yourself in these positions. You said back right. Oh, wait a minute. We got one in the back right, and right here. And right here. But when you don't see yourselves in these positions, it's hard for you to imagine the reality in which you can be whatever you want to be. So when a young kid that's maybe 15, about to go to college, want to major in poli-sci, looks at this picture, they see themselves. Whether they're Indian American, Hispanic, Black, Nigerian, wherever. they can see that one day that could be me. But when you don't have a diverse group of people surrounding you, that's a solid message. A very solid message. Anyway.
And they're equally family,
Yes.
right? And I learned that from my mother. So my mother, I had all these aunties and uncles. My Uncle Sherman, who was one of the first black men to graduate from Berkeley School of Law, who, when we were young girls, sat us down and taught us how to play chess. Because Uncle Sherman said, you need to understand how the chessboard works, because that's the way the world works. There are going to be different players with different moves, and you need to see the whole board. My mother raised us around, like my Auntie Chris, who went to Howard in the 50s and pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha. And she was one of my incredible role models growing up.
This was what I was just talking about. Representation. Auntie Chris, who was most certainly not her real auntie, but it was somebody who she looked up to and saw as a mother figure when her mother passed away. She went to Howard. She became AKA. And guess who was inspiration in what the journey that Kamala Harris made? You think it was just a coincidence? She went to the same school and played the same sorority? When you have people that look like you in different positions, it gives you a perspective that one day that could be me. And that one day came for her. This is what I mean when I say that I am not against diversification of certain places, because it shows people, hey, that could be me one day. Yeah, please. You can call me Easy Shot, Cat. You don't call me host. This ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not that old. It makes me like an old man.
And that was one of the big reasons I wanted to go to Howard University and pledge Alpha Kappa Alpha. Those are some of the lessons that I've learned from my mother, and I try to also share with people. Right?
She did go to the wrong school, though. I will say that. She should have gone down the road, 3 hours down, Hampton University. That's what we do.
Right, which is the beauty of community, and it's the way I am, right? Which is, you know, the children in my life, whether they be my own or, you know, my godchildren or whomever, right? That it's a collective responsibility that we have.
Did you know you were different?
I've never heard
were
of
there
Howard
a lot of
until
people
this
in the community that looked like you or like your mom? Or did your mom tell you were different?
Well, my mother taught us to, and everyone in my growing up, you know, they would tell all of us kids that we were special.
Okay.
I don't think we were particularly special.
Right.
But they told us we were, and we believed them.
Yes.
We believed them. I think that's such an important part of what we can all do for the children and the children in our lives. And, you know, but my mother raised 2 black girls to be proud black women. Back to music, one of the soundtracks from my childhood was, you know, You Are Young, Gifted, and Black. You know? And
Cat speaks, there's still time. There's still time for you to go to HBCU. Now, I don't know how old you are. It might be a little odd. You know what? No, it won't be. My frat brother, I'm the 4, he's the 5. He was 30 when we crossed. We called him Ice Age, because, you know. But he was 30 when we pledged. So it's not too late. Okay, 41.
that's what it was.
I'll get the phone number later. And we're back, America.
What the
Your
dog.
moderators, they
You don't even notice it. You don't even notice it. You be chilling, next thing you know, freaking ad for Call of Duty 6 comes up. Nick Cannon goes to Howard. Nick Cannon is scouting at Howard. He does not attend Howard University. He is scouting at Howard University. All right, Shannon, we'll get Black Ops 6. God damn.
How did you cope with that loss?
Okay, he's talking about the mom. Okay, I don't want to hear about the mom dying. I know about this already.
Wanted to get rid of the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
Okay, we go.
So many people, including and in particular black people,
Oh.
there was a whole lot of opposition to it. So
Let's get into
There we go.
things that will change what will happen if you were to become president, say in the next 12 to 13 days. Polls suggest that voters trust President Trump, former President Trump, more on the economy. What can you tell the voters, our viewing audience, our listening audience, that if you were to become president, while Madam VP Kamala Harris will be much better on the economy than what President Trump was?
Well, so I'm really glad you brought that up.
Hold up. Just so we're clear, that was the third ad. We are 20 minutes into an hour-long interview. That is, what's that? One ad every 6.5 minutes.
Up, Shannon. So first of all, let's clear up certain myths.
Okay.
You know those checks that went out?
Yes. Those stimmies?
Right. Right.
Stimulus check.
Yeah, I know. Well, right. Yes.
We got to be full. Stimulus, but they call them stimmies. Okay.
The reason those came about is because there was a Democratic majority in the House of Representatives and Congress.
Mm-hmm.
People like Maxine Waters, people like Hakeem Jeffries, right?
Yes.
Who did the work of pushing to say, people need help right now and we need to send out checks. There was a whole lot of opposition to it, including from Donald Trump's White House.
Yeah.
Dog. Listen, I love that quote from Call of Duty, mistakes were made. This is one of those mistakes were made. Doing a Call of Duty ladies in the chat, if you're not familiar with what Call of Duty is, and gentlemen, Call of Duty is a war game. It has been around since like the early 2000s. They have covered several wars and the fuck shit that happened during those wars. The war crimes that we did. Do y'all remember the airport scene in Modern Warfare 2? I don't skip it. I want to play the whole game. But to have Call of Duty Black Ops 6 as the major sponsor during the presidential nominee conversation interview is insane. And I just laugh every time I look at the top and see the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or see another ad pop up for that. That's crazy.
Yes, even him. I think he was resistant to it at first.
Yes. That's why those checks, remember, Congress holds the purse.
Yes.
So really, Congress wrote those checks. But then Donald Trump, unlike any president before or after, decided he put his name on those checks.
So therefore, people thought
Donald Trump gave me that check.
Playing COD as a pacifist is crazy. But do they have the tranquilizer dart? No, that was like Metal Gear Solid, where you could just trank everybody. You have to kill nobody. That's crazy. I'm shooting anything that moves in that game. Till I see the X's. Red X. Anyway, what she's referring to, people in the chat, what's up, Lovely? What he's referring to is, during the pandemic, for those who don't remember, Donald Trump withheld the passing out of the checks until he could put his name on it. And I always thought that was weird, right? I remember being in my house, sitting outside, and when I got the news about that, I was like, why would he, what does that mean? Like, we all saw the discourse happening to this. We know you were against it. We know a lot of Republicans were against it. We heard the reasoning for it. The reasoning was insane. Just so we all don't get revisionist history, the reason for them wanting to not give us stimulus checks is because they thought that we would not go back to work. I'm gonna say that again. The reason why they did not want to give us stimulus checks is because they thought we would not go back to work. I got 3. I think I got 3. I think I got maybe 2. So I got $2,400. They thought I wasn't gonna go back to work. So again, he pushed it, because what comes on the actual checks, because I got direct deposit, but the checks are actually signed by the U.S. Department of Treasury. They're not signed by a president. As far back as I can remember, I don't know if Bill Clinton gave us one, but Obama gave us one, Bush gave us one, Trump and Biden all gave stimulus checks. But the name was the first time that it ever happened under Trump. Just so we're clear. But I didn't think it was going to work, because I'm like, we all saw you be like, hey, I don't want them to get the money. So why would we think that you gave it to us? But time goes on. People forget. And they just remember Donald Trump gave me a stimulus check for a global pandemic.
And so let's clear that up first and foremost.
Okay.
But let's also deal with where he was.
Also, we had 25,000 likes to get to 30. Thank you. If you're not subscribed to my Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, all have the same names. All the same names. If you want to see this not in the little, and want to see how I'm living out here with my vacuum and my bear and my steps, feel free to look at me on Twitch. Appreciate it.
Was in terms of his policies on the economy. He gave the biggest tax cuts for billionaires and the biggest corporations, which caused an incredible deficit. He tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which we also call Obamacare, which benefited so many people, including and in particular black people in America who otherwise were denied by the insurance companies health coverage because of pre-existing conditions.
Yes, that's most important. Let the people know.
Right?
With Affordable Care Act, if you have a pre-existing condition, insurance companies can no longer deny you coverage.
That's exactly right. And if you think about what that means in the context of also knowing the big health disparities we have in the black community, and how more likely, therefore, black folks might be to have pre-existing conditions.
High blood pressure, diabetes,
all of that.
Cancers.
All of that.
Yes.
Asthma for our children.
Yes. Sickle cell trait.
It's all of that. So by getting rid of the pre-existing condition ban, what that did, but he wanted to get rid of the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
You know what's crazy? Looking at the comment section on Shannon Sharp's thing on Instagram, there are so many misguided individuals. One person wrote, Obama, because he was talking about how we're talking about this part right here. That's what's on the page. And it said, Obama has Obamacare. He didn't have to put his name on that. Point is, everything is a business. This is a black man that said this. This man thinks that the Affordable Care Act's real name is called Obamacare. We are almost 10 years into that, and he thinks Obamacare is the name of the thing. And there's comments like this all up and down this thing. Unc sold out. Why are accent always changed around black folks? Do you hear an accent? Do y'all hear? Talk to me about all the money that was given to Ukraine. People don't understand how anything works. And it's sad. It's really sad. Because it's like, damn, bro, you operate in society. You operate in the real world. Like, you're in charge of people's lives. And you can't learn basic information. You can't admit when you're wrong. You can't understand reasoning and logic. I've always said, once the pandemic happened, I said this. I said, America is like the great-grandson of someone who really got it out the mud and became successful and wealthy. We were just told we were great for years. And then when shit really hit the fan, we realized that we weren't. We say we're the best country in the world. When stuff happened, we realized how uneducated, how ill-prepared we actually were. It's kind of crazy.
What we have done, and part of my policies going forward include what we need to do to not only retain the cap that we got on insulin at $35 a month for seniors. By the way, black folks are 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes.
Correct.
He wants to get rid of it with that Project 2025. Everybody needs to check that out. What he would do to get rid of Social Security, or at least raise the age to 70, so you'd have to work to 70 to be able to qualify.
Right.
Get rid of Medicare, get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And that's just on health policy, not to mention bringing back not only tax cuts for the richest people, but what he would do that is about eliminating or reducing the ability of corporations to be required to pay overtime pay.
So you could work and the corporations wouldn't have to pay you for it.
For overtime.
Who work for free?
That's right. And overtime means you are actually working a longer day, which means you are more tired.
Right.
Which means it requires more exertion. That's why we have overtime pay. So you don't take advantage of workers. In addition to all of that, we're looking at Donald Trump, basically somebody who has never been understanding of the issues that affect the community about disparities. And I'm going to talk, for example, about how when he was a landlord, he denied rent to black families. Mm-hmm. You look at what he did in terms of taking out a full-page ad in the New York Times against the Central Park Five, which were a bunch of, they're not young adults, they were teenagers, black and brown teenagers, took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for their execution for crimes they did not commit. They were innocent. Donald Trump, who said of the first black president of the United States, the birtherism, to have people question whether he was born in the United States, to try and diminish. And then most recently, you look in this very election, legal black immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, saying they're eating their pets. So
this sounds pretty coherent to me. I don't know about the rest of y'all. Remember early in the live where somebody was like, all she does is word salads? I think we understand her positions on a lot of things pretty clearly. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But it seems like she just is talking like normally.
Part of what we have to help people understand is don't think you're in Donald Trump's club. You're not.
Right.
He's not going to be thinking about you. You think he's having you over for dinner? You think that when he's with his buddies, his billionaire buddies, he's thinking about what we need to do to deal with addressing, for example, my work around what I'm doing to address disparities in black men's health, around colon cancer, around what we need to do around screenings, what we need to do around prostate cancer. Black men are twice as likely to have, and screenings, what we need to do to address.
I'm a survivor of prostate cancer.
Right, you know what I'm talking about.
And so is my father. Oh God, here we go. It got Black Ops 6 again, dog. Here we go.
Go James and the Lakers are back putting on a show.
Oh, SeatGeek. My bad. All right, Cat Stacks, my bad. Cat Shot, my bad. I got you. Let's skip that. Check out SeatGeek though. If you try to get tickets to like sporting events, it is a pretty good website.
To keep it because the economy seems to be heading in the right direction, but the inflation, gas prices are extremely high, groceries are extremely high. This rent, I mean, it used to be when I was renting, they moved the rent up $40 a year. Now they've moved it up $400.
So let's talk about that. I'm glad you raised that. So for example, groceries, yes, the prices are still too high. You know it, I know it.
Yeah.
Part of my plan is to deal with price gouging. I did it when I was Attorney General. I'm going to do it as president, which is these companies that will jack up the prices of groceries to take advantage of people in need, and in particular during a crisis, like what you see around the pandemic or Hurricane Helene.
Yes. Milton.
Right?
Yes.
Milton, right? So there's that. In terms of housing, first of all, we know that black families are 40% less likely to own their home. And we can go back to redlining. We can go back to policies that were by law or practice meant to not give black folks equal opportunity to home ownership, especially in certain neighborhoods. We can go back to what happened around the GI Bill.
Yeah.
And when all those, the great generation we call them, came back, and there was federal policy to say, you all fought for our country, we're gonna give you a boost around helping you buy homes. But those black servicemen, and it was mostly men, those black servicemen did not. So you had then a time when there was a boost for, it ended up being not for black service members. So part of my policy is to, one, create a fund so that we will give a $25,000 down payment to first-time homeowners to just help people get in the door. We will deal with the rent issue, because part of what we're seeing in Atlanta, in places across our country, is these corporations are buying up all these properties. Which means then that they don't have to deal with competition between the properties, and they're jacking up rent costs. So it's about also going after that corporate gouging around what they're doing to buy up and then jack up the prices of rent. We also need to help people with small business ownership. I did, even before I was running for president, a tour, I called it the Opportunity Economy Tour, focused on black men and black entrepreneurs. What we know is, unlike Donald Trump, who got $400 million handed to him practically on a silver platter.
Let's recap. Because again, this was listed at the end of July in her policy packet that she put out. So we already, this is something she's talked about damn near every day. So we know that they're going to go after price gouging on the grocery side. We're not going to go about corporate price gouging when it comes to corporations that are buying up these properties. And as Cat Speak says, I'm in Georgia as well. If you go on Zillow right now and go and scroll to the bottom, you ain't never gonna see a person's name saying they're the owner of the house. Never. You're gonna see some company that represents them, some company that owns the house. It's just how it goes. And so when you hear these things, these are solid policies. Now again, the accountability aspect of, okay, we're 6 months into your presidency, what steps have we taken to do this? Have we laid out a plan? Do we have the proper channels, people involved to figure out, hey, is this how we're gonna run this price gouging ring? That's the questions we ask once she starts her presidency. On the flip side, we have Donald Trump, who hasn't addressed these things. He says we're gonna get the prices of groceries down. When he was in that grocery store that one time, we're gonna get these prices down. It's too high, ain't they? We're gonna get the prices down. The how, not necessarily the full plan, but just literally the concept of what you want to do is what I'm most interested in. And when we don't see these things from these candidates, see, back in the day, Bush, Gore, we would have had conversations about this. Obama, Mitt Romney, Obama, John McCain, we would have had conversations about this. However, because everybody's so brainwashed and crazy for some reason, we're seeing someone give concepts, ideas, layouts, agendas, and the other person just talking. And that's sufficient enough.
And by the way, Shannon filed for bankruptcy 6 times. Everybody wants to say he's a great businessman. Take a look at his record. I know that so many of our entrepreneurs who have great ideas don't have access to capital, but they have serious work ethic, great ideas, and a plan to do the work. So part of my plan is to increase access to capital, including giving $20,000 forgivable loans for startup capital for people to buy the equipment.
Right.
And then to change the tax deduction. So whereas it is now $5,000 to make it $50,000 to start a new business, because nobody can start a new business on $5,000. And the direct benefit when we're looking at Black entrepreneurs is profound. And all it is about saying this. Americans in general, regardless of their race or gender, we have ambition, we have aspirations, we have dreams, but not everyone has access to the opportunity that lets them actually accomplish that. I want to increase access to opportunity.
Listen, unfortunately, I've gone viral a few times, but I've never gone viral for GLP-1s for weight loss. So you probably heard about the once weekly shot that can help you lose an average of...
God damn, this nigga got so many ads. Every 4 minutes. The last one was at 24 minutes. It's 28. Exactly. Apple. Good God, man. Yes, Claudia, we'll see you another time, dear. Make sure you like the chat, follow me for more. If y'all gotta dip out, make sure you follow me before you leave. I appreciate you. How many followers I got? 85. 27. We had 28,000 likes though. That's good. Appreciate y'all.
20% of your weight in a year when combined with diet and exercise.
This man coming for Ozempic, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, let's see.
Security benefits continue because there are reports that it could possibly be depleted by 2033. And there are estimated that 11,000 people turn at least 65 years of age every single.
Oh no, there was a TikTok I saw. He's talking about Social Security. TikTok, definitely. What? Damn it! I'm sorry. She right here. She just said something about TikTok. I'm sorry. Social Security is definitely running out. As you know, we pay into Social Security, but it's not like a bank. Like it's not going into my account, Easy Shots account, nothing like that. Right? We're paying for the people now, but the amount that we're paying out to these people is not keeping up with the way in which expenses are growing. So the reason why they say it's going to run out of money is because we're not keeping up with that. And so what we have to look at is how these politicians are looking at Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, things that are supposed to be our social safety nets for later on in life. And that's the problem. That's not being talked about enough, as a lot of us who are voting now don't really care about that stuff right now. I don't have to worry about Social Security. I'm not close to that age. But the increase in Social Security age, the amount of money that's going into that, the amount of how the money is being distributed and how it's being managed, are all things we should worry about now, because with our actions today impact the way things are run tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do to make sure, because that, people, disabilities, retirement, survivors with beneficiaries, what are you going to do to make sure that that continues?
So, Shannon, to your point, there was an independent economic review of Donald Trump's plan, which shows that Social Security in the next 6 years would be insolvent under his plan, meaning that it would not be able to pay out what hardworking people who deserve dignity in their retirement deserve. And as you and I both know, there are a lot of our seniors who their only source of income is that Social Security check.
That's correct.
Right? It's the only way they're going to pay the rent or have food on the table. So my plan is about doing what we need to do to put the resources back into Social Security, but also expanding it. Because here's part of the problem with Social Security is that for our aging seniors, if they are a couple, for example, and one of the spouses passes, that cuts their Social Security benefits almost in half. So part of my plan is to reconfigure it so that that surviving spouse does not then have a crisis where they've already lost their loved one. But we also just have to understand on a macro level, we've got to require that billionaires and corporations pay their fair share, right? They can afford to. And that's part of what is the difference between me and Donald Trump. My plan is about tax cuts for small businesses, for working people, for middle-class people. 100 million Americans will benefit around tax cuts. My plan is that no taxes will be raised for anybody making less than $400,000 a year. My plan is that we give young parents a $6,000 child tax credit to help them pay for child care, for a crib or a car seat, because you and I both know the vast majority of our young parents have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources. And back to the way I was raised, I know that the children of the community are the children of the community. That you and I will benefit from that young family having the resources they need. So it's about all of us benefiting, but it's a state of mind and it's a perspective. Mine is about thinking about the challenges people face and getting them help. Donald Trump is full-time focused on himself. You watch his rallies. He will spend full-time talking about, I was going to say Freddy Krueger, Hannibal Lecter. It might as well be Freddy Krueger. Hannibal Lecter. He'll spend full-time talking.
She's not lying. I did a video on that. It was a whole compilation of 1 minute of him talking about Hannibal Lecter. Not like once, like several times. But again, in listening to this, I've heard this before, obviously. Shannon isn't the right interviewer to ask the probing questions as to the how and the why, but it is to lay out what the ideas are. And I think that's important as well. Right? Matter of fact, let me see. Do we have comments turned on in this thing? Here we go. You can see the ignorance in the chat. Tell me about how you're planning to make the economy better. You know, Shannon, Donald Trump is a bad man. She just laid that up. Oh, y'all can't see it, my bad. Shoot. There we go. Like, she's explained so much. And yet, in these comments, people who don't know how to vote, who aren't registered to vote, are sitting there saying she makes no sense. She's literally explaining everything from top to bottom. I did hear about him enacting the Aliens and Enemy Act of 1798. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Talking about his grievances, about what everyone has done to him. He'll talk about himself, but he does not talk about the American people. He does not talk about what he's going to do for middle class. He does not talk about what he's going to do for families, for working people. And we're 12 days out. This is probably one of the most serious elections that we have faced in our lifetime. My perspective, and I will be the kind of president who spends full time focused on the needs of the people. That has been my career. I have spent my whole career as a public servant trying to uplift the condition of other people, knowing what is possible and doing it with a sense of optimism. On January 20th, a new president is going into the White House. Period. A new president is going into the White House. Do you want to look at the Oval Office and see a Donald Trump who's going to be sitting there filling out his enemies list, spending full time figuring out retribution and revenge, or looking at the Oval Office and knowing you have a president in there who's creating a to-do list that's about what to do to help the American people?
So raising minimum age of Social Security, that's not on the table for you.
No. Look, people work hard all their lives, and they deserve to be able to retire with dignity. I'll tell you how I come at this. I come at it from a number of perspectives, including thinking about how I was raised in terms of how you take care of the elders.
I'm sorry. I have to jump in real quick. This is totally unrelated. Totally unrelated. I open up my Instagram. Tom Brady's ex, Giselle, whatever her last name is expecting her first child with the person that she ended the relationship to go with. That is insane. That is insane to me. It hurts. It hurts a lot. That's crazy. But yes, she's talking to regular folks. She understands the regular folks. I mean, yes, she's talking to us. I mean, again, it could be smoke and mirrors. Of course, you know, we have to go through the proper channels of getting things passed, and that is its own fight. But when you hear things that you care about being spoken about and being addressed, I think that's the overall goal of any of these interviews, right? Any of these rallies and things like that. When I hear that we're going to deport Mexicans, what the fuck? What does that mean? Like, we're not giving them thousands of dollars a day. We're not giving these different benefits. And if we are, I don't care. But it's just disheartening to see the conversations. And again, to most of y'all's credit, we know that a lot of these people aren't going to vote. That dude Duke that was in here earlier, he's not going to vote. Let's be honest. He's not even registered. But here we are.
Right? I think about it in terms of taking care of my mother when she was sick and dying from cancer. So one of my policies, for example, is to help Medicare pay for home health care for seniors. Why? Because, look, I did it, and it means, you know, trying to cook for an elder, to make something they feel like eating, right? To help them put on a sweater. And we have so many people who are in the sandwich generation. They're raising their young kids and taking care of their parents. And either they have to deplete their savings to qualify for Medicaid, right? To be able to help pay for home health care, or they have to quit their job to do the work of taking care of their kids and their parent. And I just believe that's not right. That we should have policies that give people dignity, especially our seniors. So my plan is Medicare pays for home health care. Okay. And no, I would not raise the age of eligibility for Social Security, because the same thing, we shouldn't force people to work until they're 70 in order to retire and have a moment to just enjoy their life and not worry about how they're going to pay their rent.
Is Medicare for all a priority for you?
What is a priority for me is making sure that access to health care is a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. That's why I am in favor of and have pushed and been a leader on capping the cost of insulin at $35 a month. And why I intend to allow Medicare to actually negotiate against the big pharmaceutical companies to bring down the cost of prescription medication for everybody. That's why I have fought for what we need to do around making sure Medicare covers senior care. Access to health care should not be a question of how much money you have in your back pocket. That's just not right. And I feel strongly about that.
Blacks for Trump. They feel that.
Literally a plan. Literally a plan.
Trump is better for the black community. Can you explain Donald Trump's history with blacks? Where did this come that all of a sudden, I mean, it's been like this because a lot of people used to say, I'm Donald Trump of the ghetto, because he was, I mean, for a lot of blacks, not all, but for some blacks, he was Madam VP, whether we want to admit it or not, he's revered by some blacks.
But here's the thing. The question for everybody, should he be president of the United States?
Okay.
Right? That's the question. Should he have the ability to sit behind the seal of the President of the United States when he says he wants to terminate the Constitution of the United States? You know what that would mean? In the Constitution of the United States is your Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable search and seizure, your Fifth Amendment right, your Sixth Amendment right to an attorney.
Well, a lot of rights going to be gone. The First Amendment.
But the First Amendment, the Second Amendment.
Yes.
Look, I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I don't believe we should be taking anybody's guns away. He wants to terminate the Constitution of the United States. He is the same one, like I said earlier, who denied rent to black families, who took out that full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the execution of those children, who birtherism accusations against the first black president. Not to mention please ask folks to Google Project 2025.
Yeah.
He would get rid of the $35 a month cap on insulin. We know how many of our seniors had it. I'll give you another example of why Donald Trump has not earned the support of folks to be president of the United States again. When he was president the last time, during the height of COVID, 1 in 3 black Americans knew somebody who died from COVID.
Yeah.
You remember those days?
I do.
And people couldn't get their hands on a COVID test? At that very same time, Donald Trump as president secretly sent COVID tests to the president of Russia for his personal use. While Americans were dying every day, he has not earned the right to be president of the United States. It's one thing if he has a television show that's very popular. He can put his name on a building, even though we all know he was not a terribly good businessman, which is why he filed for bankruptcy.
Wait. Hey, this is why y'all here. This is why we're here. The Kremlin confirms Trump's... Can y'all see? Hold on. Let me see. Let me fix that right. The Kremlin confirms Trump sent Russia COVID-19 tests after former president denied Bob Woodward's claim. Wow. The Trump administration sent us several samples of test kits. Wow. Please don't tell anybody you sent these to me, Putin said to Trump, according to Woodward. I don't care, Trump replied. Fine. No, Putin said. I don't want you to tell anybody because people get mad at you, not me. They don't care about me. That's crazy.
Bankruptcy 6 times.
I did not. But again, I'm just not gonna let certain things just go. She said that. I'm like, hold on now. Let's check and see. Let's verify that statement. Yeah. He sent COVID tests to Putin and said, nah, don't tell nobody I did this. That's crazy. I didn't think she was lying. It's just, I like to be like, all right, let's fact check it real quick. People, we say a lot of things. I want to just fact check it. That's crazy. Please, if y'all have facts and stuff for things y'all want me to ever bring up on the stream, I am down to do that. But that was actually pretty crazy. I didn't know that.
But that is one thing. To be president of the United States means to try and find common ground, to build consensus, to lift up the American people instead of trying to beat people down all the time. It means solving problems, which means you have to be able to get out of your own head and scan to be concerned about the well-being of other people and then do something about it. Does anyone think Donald Trump thinks that way?
Yeah, well, empathy requires you to divorce your own ego to see yourself as someone else.
That's exactly right. And we know that's not his character. So it's about, is this the right person for that job, right?
He said immigrants are taking black jobs. I don't know what those black jobs that they're taking. Can you elaborate on that? What the immigrants are taking? What black jobs are they?
It's just another example of him trying to divide and him trying to scare people. It's just another example of him doing that, of him trying to say, it's either you or them. right? And the other thing is that it's incredibly demeaning because, and he still has not been forced to define, Donald Trump, what do you define as a black job? Because let me tell you what I define as a black job. Vice President of the United States.
That's a good one.
Right?
It's a good one to have.
I don't know about the pay, but it's a good job to have. That'll be.
Well, you know, not everybody is Shannon Sharp.
No, but you know what I wanted to ask? You've been in basically your adult life. You've been a public servant.
Yes, I have.
You've been AG.
My whole adult life.
You've been a DA.
Yeah.
You've been a senator. You've been VP. Is that what you envisioned? Is that what you always wanted to be? Was a public servant?
I've always wanted to serve. You know, I was raised, I mean, back to whether you are, however you are raised, in the community in which you are raised, including the church in which you are raised, I have always believed that it is an important pursuit to figure out how you can serve. And we can do it in different ways, right? I chose public service, you chose a different route, but it's about service. And I have always, I mean, I've only had one client my entire life, the people. And the reason I keep doing it is because I know the difference that I and we can make when we believe in what is possible and then work hard at it. And my pledge in this campaign to everyone, regardless of who you are, where you live, what you look like, I will be a president for all Americans. And I will work to bring our country back together because, frankly, I think people are exhausted with the anger, with the hate, with the division, the attempt to have Americans pointing their fingers at each other. I think people are exhausted. It's not healthy for the productivity of our country. Like, do we want to strive? Do we want to thrive? Or do we want to spend full time with vengeance, demeaning other people? And living a life of service is about, I think, the importance of lifting people up, not tearing them down.
My team here at Shay Shay Media is always growing and making moves.
What's that, 4 different ads? We have Call of Duty, Ozempic Light, SeatGeek, and now ZipRecruiter. That boy getting his bag. He getting to the money.
You're making political promises and that you're just pandering. The problem that I have with that, it just seems like only black people pander. Like when other candidates go on shows and they say they're going to do this, they're not pandering. They're telling you, laying out their elaborate plan on what they're going to do. But it seems to you, when you promise it, if I'm president, this is what I'm going to do in the first 90 days. This is what I'm going to do. My administration's going to do while I'm in office. You're pandering. How do you get through to those that says, look, this is what I'm going to do. If I'm elected president, these are the policies, and they will lead to meaningful and impactful change.
Well, part of it is just to be candid. I think that there's sadly a misinformation out there about who I am and what I've done, because if people are informed about fact, they will know that almost everything that I'm talking about doing as president is built on a foundation of work that I've been doing for years. If it is about economic empowerment of the black community and all communities, I've been working on that. As vice president, I am responsible for billions of dollars from big banks and big corporations, including technology companies, getting into community banks to increase access to capital for minority-owned and other small businesses. If you look at my work over a period of years, my focus again on something like maternal mortality is longstanding, which directly impacts black men and black women.
Right.
And the black family. If you look at the work that I am doing that is about small businesses, you know, the person who helped my mother raise us, who was a second mother to us, was a small business owner. I have always focused for such a long time on what we need to do, knowing that our small businesses are part of the culture of our communities, right? Including the economic fabric and strength of the community. So what I'm talking about doing right now is based on longstanding work. It's not new. But as President of the United States, part of why it is important is it is a new approach to that job. It is about a new way that is based on a new generation of leadership, that is based on new ideas, and frankly, a different experience that brings my commitment to the work I am talking about into being.
Can you give us a breakdown of how you will allow blacks and other minorities to access capital? Because you speak a lot about capital, and in order for people to become successful and have some wealth, is that they need to have access to that to get started.
So that's in fact why I did, starting earlier this year, my economic opportunity tour, way before I was running for president, because I realized that so many of our entrepreneurs don't actually have we need to do better in getting information to people about what's available to them. So for example, through the Small Business Administration, there are funds available to help people create a business plan. There is resources available to help people just know how that you need to run a payroll, how you need to pay business taxes. Part of my plan, by the way, is to simplify taxes for small businesses. I like to say it's basically, I'm going to date myself, like, you remember the 1040 Did you ever have to do a 1040 Probably never.
No.
Okay, I did. But, simplifying tax returns for people, including our small businesses. But the work that I have done and will continue to do is about knowing that we don't lack for hard work, we don't lack for good ideas, but we do lack for information about the help that is available. So that's part of how it is going to be about increasing access to capital. Part of it is about putting more money. So I called up and got in touch with and worked with some of the big CEOs of the biggest corporations in America and said, and the big banks, that you all don't necessarily, you're not there in the community where you can get a $100,000 loan to a small business. You guys deal at a different level. But those $100,000 loans for a startup will go a long way. Let's get those billions of dollars that you've got, put them into community banks who are in the community, who know what the community needs, what they want, what the consumers there want, and then support those small businesses. So that's my approach to access to capital, including making sure that people have, again, simplifying taxes for small businesses. You know why, Shannon? Small businesses can't afford to hire a bunch of accountants.
Yeah, they can't help.
And a bunch of lawyers. But that shouldn't be the reason they fail, because they didn't fill out the form properly. Right?
Yes.
So my approach is really understanding the culture, understanding the needs, and then trying to fix problems. I love fixing problems with common sense solutions. And again, look, Donald Trump is never going to relate necessarily to the kind of folks that I'm talking about, who on the ground just need to be seen and heard, and then let's fix the problems. Let's address the challenges to let them not just get by, but get ahead. And I want to put a fine point on this. Maybe it's a new perspective. I think it is. I believe that we have had great success in bringing black unemployment down to historic lows.
Yes,
it is.
But for me, that's a floor. For me, that's a...
Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. At the next commercial break, we're going to end it for the day. We're going to come back tomorrow, finish this up, and watch Joe Rogan. Because I want to see 3-hour conversation. Maybe he got into his bag. I don't know. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, I want to watch Kamala Harris. And I'm not going to watch the Trump thing. I want to see what he talked about. So in the next 30 seconds, we're going to see.
Floor. Because what I know is that it should be baseline that everybody's working. That's not enough. People want to build wealth.
Yes.
And intergenerational wealth.
Correct.
And I want to help people do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know if folks want to be able to take a nice vacation from time to time, have nice Christmas gifts for their kids under the tree. And it can't just be about, well, you got a job, applaud me for what?
The 100 followers were 89. We hit 30,000 likes. Thank you. We did it. Hold up. Come on, balloons. Yeah, confetti. And can I get this one? It be acting up. Yeah. 30,000. Anyway, back to this.
What I've done for you. Right. And that's the spirit with which I do my work.
I saw President Trump on a TV show, and he talked about defunding the Department of Education.
Yes.
Basically, we know that's going to affect communities like us, that don't have the resources. And then because he says he doesn't, if they talked about slavery, which is a part of our history, it's
that they're trying to cover up.
Yes.
That they're trying to cover up.
They talk about racism. And he said, well, what we would do if they talked about it, they wouldn't get funding. And we know what communities are going to be most impacted by non-funding.
And understand that they want to get rid of the Department of Education and get rid of Head Start. You know whose kids are in Head Start? They want to, it is, and to your point, and I'm so glad you pointed this out, you know, these are the same people who basically suggested that enslaved people benefited from slavery. The same people who are trying to ban and are banning books. And again, if we don't teach America's full history, we will never ensure that we don't make the same.
Yes.
To do those same things again.
Let's learn from that painful part of our history to make sure we don't repeat it, but not by not covering it up. Let's have an open and honest conversation about it. It happened.
And the effects of it.
Yes.
And the present day effects of it.
I think we both agree. I think we can all agree on this, that there is a problem with, I don't know how the correct term, I think it's undocumented. How do we get a hold on that, Madam VP? How do we make sure, because I think I've heard you say you want a path to citizenship, but we want to, make sure people come in and do things properly.
Yes, that's exactly right. So first of all, I have personally prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have prosecuted the Sinaloa cartel, okay? The Guadalajara cartel. So I put my record up to anybody in terms of how strongly I feel about having a secure border and making sure that there is not that kind of trafficking into America. I also know that we need to put more resources at the border, which is why I supported a bill that came about, including from the most conservative members of Congress, to put 1,500 more border agents at the border, to do what we need to do to cut down the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States, which is killing people of every race and background. More resources would have gone to prosecuting human trafficking. Donald Trump got word of that bill, and he knew it would be a solution to a problem, which is that we have a broken immigration system. He got word of the bill, and he told his friends in Congress, don't put it up for a vote. Don't let it go any further. Because, you see, he wants to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
Right.
And is putting out tens of millions of dollars of campaign commercials full-time, trying to suggest that he cares about strengthening the border when he had an opportunity to participate in a solution, which he killed, because he's not about problem solving. It's about a political game for him. My point is, we got to strengthen the border, and we need to have an immigration system that is fair and humane and strong in terms of making sure that people have to earn citizenship.
Trump's deportation, we only got like 10 more minutes. It's not crazy. Trump's deportation, mass deportation he wants to do would cost us about $80 billion. There was a guy, the interview just happened, it was like, can you put a price on safety or whatever? $80 billion is crazy to get rid of a major part of our workforce in America, to be replaced with nothing. And that'd be my thing. Like, if we want to do this mass deportation, who's going to take over those jobs? Because we already tried to give white people, let's be honest, those jobs in Florida. And that ended pretty quickly. So that's usually my question when I ask these things. You want to deport all these people and replace them with what exactly? So.
Citizenship, they have to work hard to get it. My plan,
I think it was the interview just came out recently where this lady was getting interviewed with. It was a 60-minute interview, I think. Ooh, we should watch that too tomorrow. We got a lot to watch.
Includes also strengthening what we need to do in terms of illegal entry in between ports of entry. What we need to do to put more support for Border Patrol agents, put more technology at the border. But it includes also, I'm never going to talk about people from Haiti eating their pets. Right. And I think that we also know we don't want an immigration system that's about separating children from their parents. We can do it in a humane way. But the bottom line is we can fix these problems. The solutions are at hand. He stands in the way.
Right.
And in particular on this issue.
If you were to become president, would you ask Congress to reinstitute that bill and try to get it through?
Absolutely. And also I would work across the aisle with Republicans. There are a lot of Republicans supporting me in this campaign. And I would work with Republicans to bring this bill back up so I can sign it into law. And I do want to talk about that for a moment. This is not 2016 or 2020 in terms of how people are thinking about Donald Trump. He was president, and the people who worked the most closely with him, Republicans at the highest level, his former chief of staff, his former defense secretaries, his former national security advisor, and his former vice president, have collectively said he is dangerous and unfit to be president of the United States. And Shannon, you can just watch his rallies. I mean, did you see that 39 minutes of him swaying back and forth to YMCA? No, the man, you have to watch, and I encourage everybody who's watching this, watch what he's doing at these rallies. He is increasingly unstable and unfit to be president, according to the people who knew him best. All Republicans, by the way, who I just referred to.
Right.
Who know he is unfit to be commander-in-chief. He who will talk about service members. A lot of your listeners and the people who are a fan of your show have served or do serve in the United States military. He talks about military service members as being uncourageous, as being cowards, suckers, and losers.
Yeah.
This is how the man talks. And so let's not get distracted by who he was on The Apprentice.
Right.
Let's not get distracted by whatever, building in whatever city in Vegas or wherever has his name on it. Let's look at the job of President of the United States. And is he fit to do that job? And by the people who know him best, including most recently, a 4-star Marine general, his former chief of staff, they all say, those who know him best, he is unfit and dangerous.
The previous administration, your administration that you were in, they got kudos for the student loan relief.
Yeah.
What's the contingency plan? Because I see it's still trying to go through and some of the courts have shot it down. Do you have a contingency plan to continue the student relief?
I'm going to keep fighting for it. And yes, because first of all, what I know is that too many people have been weighed down by their student loan debt.
Yes.
To the point they question whether they can have a family, whether they can retire at some point, whether they can buy a home. So that's why I pushed for what we did around student loan debt. And thankfully, for example, we have billions of dollars in student loan debt relief that have gone, for example, to public servants like teachers and nurses and firefighters. But there's more we need to do. But, if I go into various communities like here in Atlanta and ask people how many people got their student debt relieved, the number of hands that go up and the life-changing experience people have had, reminds me of the importance of this fight, and I'm going to continue to do it.
Have you let people know that President Trump, if he were to get back into office, he wants to offer police complete immunity? That they can do no wrong, no matter how egregious the act may be, they have complete immunity. Do people understand what that means? Do they really understand what that means, Madam VP?
I hope so. And I encourage people to go online to see how he says it. I encourage people to go online to see how he talks about a day of violence. Did you ever see the movies? Right. Understand. Again, don't take my word for it.
Take his.
Yeah. Take his. And see where he stands on these issues.
I want to get you out of here on this one, Madam VP. You, like myself, attended and graduated from a historically black institution.
Proudly.
And It just goes to show you, if you look at myself, Stephen A., Michael Strahan, three of the most prominent voices in morning television, attended and graduated from an HBC. Yourself ascended to the highest of highs, graduated from an HBCU. What message would you like to share with students at all these historically black universities and colleges? What message would you like to share to them?
What you got?
Oh, know your excellence. And know we are so proud of you. And we want you to have ambition. We applaud your ambition. We want you to know you can do and be anything. And don't ever hear no. And that no, you stand on broad shoulders, right? Because part of what we know is we have a legacy.
Yeah, we do.
And we stand then in that path, knowing that we also have the honor and the duty of excelling in every way possible.
They would call this word salad. Those people that say like, oh, she should be just saying word, they would call this word salad. Words of affirmation confuse them. I'm starting to understand that now. As I've started to listen a lot more to speeches and interviews and things like that, what is simply just positive affirmation, understanding, being relatable, is seen as, I don't know what they're talking about, which is crazy. This was one of the most coherent interviews I'd heard. Now, of course, I've heard all this stuff before, but for those that haven't, I've seen this interview and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cut and dry on what she wants to do, her positions on things. Again, Shannon Sharpe might not be the best as far as digging deeper into this, but from the surface level, seems pretty okay to me. I don't know.
Being able to see what is possible and not be burdened by other people's limited ability to see the same.
One more thing, I think something that's very, very near and dear to your heart is Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
I think 50 plus years, I think 72, 73, when it was Roe v. Wade said, hey, women have the right to their bodies, and all of a sudden the Supreme Court struck it down and says, no, you don't, we have control over that. What would that mean to you? So how do you get that? How do you go back and fight to make sure women still have control of their bodies?
So I'm so glad you brought it up. Shannon, first of all, think about one of the most basic rights that you could imagine is the right for you to be able to make decisions about your own body.
Correct.
Your own body.
Your reproductive rights.
And the court just took that right away from women to make decisions about their own body and not have their government tell them what to do. And I think an important emphasis for me is you don't have to give up your faith or deeply held beliefs on this subject to agree the government shouldn't be telling her what to do. If she chooses, she'll talk with her pastor, her priest, her rabbi, her imam, but not the government telling her. And we need to fight against this. We need to understand how many women are suffering miscarriage and being denied help because the doctors are afraid they may end up in jail. In Texas, do you know they provide prison for life for doctors or nurses who provide reproductive care? Prison for life, Shannon. In the state of Georgia,
oh man,
a beautiful young woman, a mother of a 6-year-old son, died.
She did die.
Because of these Trump abortion bans. The majority of black women and the men who love them live in the South.
Yes.
Do you know in every state in the South except for Virginia, there is a Trump abortion ban?
Yes, I do. Hopefully everybody else knows that also.
Right. And so we all have to stand, regardless of your gender, regardless of your race, your background. We have to stand and say, look, this is just simply not right, and we cannot stand for the notion that Donald Trump could be president of the United States, he who chose a Supreme Court that would take this right from the women of America and the men who love them. And now we have women suffering to such an extent as they are. I think it's one of the most fundamental rights that's at play.
One more thing before you go, Madam VP.
Yes.
Who's the real HU?
Oh, come on.
I'm just asking. I didn't want to know. I don't know. I didn't go to either one, so I just wanted to hear you.
You know.
Madam VP, Kamala Harris.
Thank you all. Thank you, Sharon.
I was about to grab my red hat and say, damn all this. I had my red hat ready to go. I tell you that. I was waiting to see what she was gonna say. She said, yo, you know who it is? Yeah, we do know who it is. You see it? You see it on my chest? I said, don't get to the end and get crazy now. Don't let the dementia sit in. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all sticking around with me. We hit 3 hours here. I've enjoyed this journey with y'all. You know, just learning things. We learned a lot today. We learn a lot every day here. And if you haven't followed me, please. We got to our goals. We crushed our goals, actually, our metrics, if you will. 31,000, well, let's call it 32. 32,000 likes. We didn't hit the 100 follow goal, but I think overall, like today, 100 people followed. So that's cool. Definitely appreciate y'all for joining me. Definitely appreciate y'all coming through. We'll be talking about the Joe Rogan experience tomorrow. Maybe a couple clips we've seen. We'll look at that Puerto Rico as a trash landfill floating in the sea. You know, Marcel didn't hear enough about policies, which is just crazy. She went through every single one, every single bullet point one more time. Make sure y'all get out and vote, man. If you don't know where to vote, there's a link in my bio that has all that information for you, where you would vote. Just type in your information. And yeah, man, this has just been a good time. Come back here tomorrow. We'll be doing the same thing. Clean your house, make your bed, do your laundry, and talk to your kids. Don't be like my man Duke and just spread misinformation to your child, because your child's a reflection of you. You know? Ooh, that's a good thing. Cut on notifications. I don't know how to do that, but do that. I'm glad I was informative. Like I said, you can go to another live and they'll be arguing about whatever the fuck. I don't know. But over here, we do things a little differently. We have clips, we have data, we have everything to support what we're talking about. So please vote blue. Please look out for each other. And yeah, we'll see y'all tomorrow.